Thank you, Emma. Yes, just watching the aerial pictures of Windsor Park, the new improved Windsor Park, and this is a really big night for sport in Northern Ireland. The first time that a showpiece UEFA match like this has been played in Northern Ireland. Only 13,000, the attendance is capped at 13,000, but there are plenty of supporters, actually, Chelsea fans. 2,000 tickets were available for Chelsea supporters, and they appear to be in a section on the opposite side of the ground from the tunnel, and they are there in good numbers. Lots and lots of replica blue Chelsea shirts in the crowd. And there were 1,500 tickets for supporters of Villarreal. I'm not sure they've taken up their full allocation, but they've been given, I'm told, a great welcome, the Villarreal supporters. Many have travelled on charter planes to Northern Ireland. They've been hosted, I know, by Crusaders Football Club, and have had a very enjoyable afternoon there, I'm sure. And the great trophies, the European Cup, the Champions League trophy, and the Europa League trophy are in Belfast. They're inside Windsor Park. They've been carried out by the Chelsea captain tonight, N'Golo Kante. The European Cup was towering over him as it was standing on its plinth in the corridor, in the tunnel. And Raúl Albiol, the experienced Villarreal defender, with that very heavy former UEFA Cup trophy, the Europa League trophy. They've placed them on plinths either side of the smooth contours of the silver UEFA Super Cup, which is on the side of the pitch, and the players are now having their team photographs taken, and Raúl Albiol is waiting for N'Golo Kante to come across. The club captain, the Champions League captain, winning captain Cesar Azpilicueta is amongst a star-studded list of Chelsea substitutes. So Kante and Raúl Albiol just exchanging the pennants. Stephen Warnock is with us, Premier League player, Champions League player, England international. Stephen, the teams tonight, Chelsea going with, as we say, Trevor Chalobah making his debut in a competitive first team match for Chelsea as one of three central defenders, with Zuma and Rudiger, Mendy in goal, Hudson-Odoi, Kante, Kovacic and Alonso, then Ziyech, Havertz and Werner. That's 6 changes from the team that started the Champions League final, whereas for Villarreal, only 3 changes from the team that started and won on penalties, that marathon penalty shootout against Manchester United. So Asenio is the goalkeeper, Rulli is on the substitutes bench. Back 4 of Juan Foyt, Albiol, Pau Torres and Pedraza. In midfield, Capu, former Tottenham and Watford man, with Trigueros and Alberto Moreno either side of him. Alberto Moreno, former Liverpool, then Gerard Moreno and Boulaye Dia up front. So a thought on what might lie ahead tonight in the Super Cup match?
Well, I think with Chelsea it's about starting where they left off from last season, moving the ball quickly. We know how defensively sound they are. I think they're geared up to counter-attack in this game. But it's about how well they start this game and how quickly they move the ball against Villarreal, because they'll be very well organised themselves.
And the Russian referee, Sergei Karasev, blows his whistle, and Chelsea get us underway. Chelsea designated as the home team, the European champions, the Champions League winners in Porto at the end of May against Villarreal, the Europa League winners, which, if you aren't aware, is the only major trophy Villarreal have won in the club's entire history. So great times, famous times for them. Chelsea, Villarreal, Chelsea in the blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks, and the yellow submarine, as they're known, their nickname, you will gather from that Villarreal are indeed all in yellow. We have more matches tonight in the first round of the Carabao Cup. We'll keep you across those. And Coventry City have already taken the lead against Northampton. Tyler Walker has scored for Coventry. And we'll keep you, as I say, updated on the scores as the goals go in those matches during the course of the evening. And there is a choice of sports commentary from BBC Radio this evening, because the 100, the latest match in the 100, is over on 5 Live Sports Extra right now, or on BBC Sounds. It is Southern Brave against Welsh Fire, the men's match, after the women's earlier. Here's Rudiger, then for Chelsea, halfway inside the Villarreal half, but it breaks down. Kovacic is being put under pressure, and it's Villarreal who played forward to Gerard Moreno, their top scorer of last season, the number 7, the Spanish international. Now the ball up towards the edge of the penalty area, but a crucial delay by Boulaye Dia, the recent signing from Reims, one of their summer arrivals, the Senegal international, and Stephen Warnock and N'Golo Kante needed no second invitation to come and get it. And in Belfast, Stephen Warnock, N'Golo Kante doing what he does.
Yeah, he just senses danger straight away. He looks like Dia is getting away and is covering, understanding where his defenders are out of position ever so slightly. I was just going to touch on Lukaku joining the club and wondered where Kai Havertz might play and Timo Werner, and Werner is the one who's gone down the middle, Havertz going to the left hand side, which is quite interesting because we spoke just before the game wondering how they might set up, and we expected Werner to play on that left hand side.
Well, experience has told me, as I'm sure it has you as well, to be slightly suspicious of the official UEFA lineups. And on that UEFA lineup, that's exactly what it said it was going to be, with Havertz and Ziyech either side of Werner, but that is the way of it. And Chelsea have got the ball, having won a free kick, centre field, and the ball is going to be brought forward by Kurt Zouma, who plays it out towards the right-hand side. So Zouma, it would appear, actually, on the official lineup, that isn't correct. It's Chalobah. Chalobah is playing as the right-sided central defender, and Zouma as the man in the middle. But a big night for Trevor Chalobah, brother of Nathaniel, and he's been out on loan for the last 3 seasons, Trevor Chalobah, but he's back and he's getting his opportunity, and he's played pre-season, and now he's got his chance to play in the Super Cup matches. Chelsea win a free kick for a foul on Alonso.
I spoke about Tammy Abraham before the show and how it was going so well for him under Frank Lampard, and then Thomas Tuchel comes in and has an opinion and isn't quite for him. And sometimes you just see something in someone that really suits you as a manager, and he might really fancy Trevor Chalobah, which could be great for him. He's got all the attributes. He's very comfortable on the ball, comfortable stepping out, physically excellent, and looks super fit as well. A real athlete.
And so he should be, Trevor Chalobah, because he's played a lot of football in those loan moves that he's had. Made 112 appearances over the last 3 seasons for Ipswich and Huddersfield, and then in France with Lorient last season. Here's Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. He will have great hopes, I would have thought, as well this season. But the competition is so strong at Chelsea as they go back towards Kante near the halfway line. And then here is Zouma. There's a bit of talk that Kurt Zouma might be on his way this summer as well. Alonso now on the left-hand side. Hair looking as thick as ever. Kovacic, right-footed ball, high down the right-hand side. Hudson-Odoi pulls it back across the Villarreal penalty area, but Pau Torres was there, left-footed to clear it out of play next to the corner flag for a throw-in. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Chelsea 0, Villarreal 0, and a throw-in to Chelsea on the right. Great noise, it would seem, in Windsor Park. As I say, much anticipated occasion this tonight. Something that I know they've been looking forward to. They love their big sporting events in Northern Ireland. It's Chelsea. Played through to Alonso on the left-hand side, pulls the ball right across the edge of the 6-yard box. Ziyech couldn't get there, and it was turned behind at the back post by Pedraza for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, brilliant play from Alonso down the left-hand side. He just catches Jeremy Cold, and it's a lovely ball across the central, the 6-yard box, just played on the floor. He's just waiting for a tap-in, and dare I say, if Lukaku's playing, it's a goal.
Just the sort of ones he loves. Corner then played into the back post. Werner with a chance. Stretched a leg around the defender and got the shot in. And goalkeeper Asenio was able to palm it away, moving to his left.
Oh, what a save from Asenio, because it's the back post. Timo Werner, he's wrestling with Alberto Moreno, and he outstrengths him and then just gets a laces type volley onto the ball, just punches the ball. Big strong hand from Asenio. Good save.
He just sort of managed to, even though Alberto Moreno was the favourite to clear that, Werner somehow just seemed to stretch out a leg around him, curled it around him, and got the shot in that Asenio made the save. So still Chelsea 0, Villarreal 0. Those 2 goals so far in the Carabao Cup tonight. Coventry 1-0 up on Northampton, and QPR winning 1-0 at Leyton Orient, as opposed to Lorient that I mentioned in relation to Trevor Chalobah. Here is Kurt Zouma with the ball in the centre circle. Thiago Silva is on the bench tonight. Whole host of England players who are involved in the Euros. Mason Mount amongst the substitutes, Reece James, Ben Chilwell's there as well. And Euro winners as well, Jorginho and Emerson among the substitutes for Chelsea this evening.
Did you see Thiago Silva's hair, John?
I have not seen it. Why?
Oh, it's a beautiful
Is it something to look forward to?
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait for that. I hope we see him later. Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. Ziyech now just outside the penalty area. Back to Hudson-Odoi. Lots of yellow back in defensive positions as the ball is played across by Hudson-Odoi. Chelsea win it back. Kovacic was in there. Rudiger as well. Kovacic takes it up again. Kovacic, who was heavily involved for Croatia in the summer. Hudson-Odoi now on the right-hand side into the penalty area. The challenge comes in on him from Alberto Moreno, but Hudson-Odoi was able to work the ball across. I wondered if it had taken a flick, but it didn't. It's a goal kick to Villarreal, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, Chelsea are dominating this game, so comfortable in possession. They're getting the ball into the wide areas, using the wing-backs in Hudson-Odoi and Alonso. Both sides just far too easy. Villarreal suffering immensely with the system that Thomas Tuchel has put in place for Chelsea.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, Stephen, did not start in any of the last 13 matches of last season for Chelsea, but he has been a regular starter in their pre-season friendlies, and as I say, he's got a lot of ground to make up. Yeah, Kante playing out to the left-hand side. Havertz now with a cross right across the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Pau Torres on the edge of the 6-yard box. Kante wins it back, shoots, but it might well have been going wide anyway at Asensio's right post, but he dived. I think he got a touch on it.
And Kante's claiming it as the ball comes out to the edge of the box. It's a quick set for him. Kante, as he wins it, he knows what he wants to achieve. He tries to push it into the far left-hand corner. Asensio, I think he had it covered. Kante wanted a corner, but he didn't get a fingertip to it.
Did he? I think he did.
Yeah, possibly did. So it is a good save, and
I think it was going wide, mind.
Yeah. But I was going to say about Hudson-Odoi, John. You have to remember last season was a season where he's coming back after that Achilles injury. You're never going to be at your brilliant best, and maybe it's the full pre-season that Thomas Tuchel knew he was going to need leading into this season, because he has got so much ability.
Yes, he has. Chelsea 0, Villarreal 0. Chelsea have been the better team so far. Ball flicked down the left-hand side, and I think it was run out of play by Pedraza, the left-back. Yeah, I think the whistle has gone, and it is a goal kick. Get a shot of Unai Emery, always smartly turned out. He's got his Villarreal blazer. He's got a little knitted waistcoat on as well tonight. Villarreal tie with the club badge on it. Serial winner of the Europa League. Did it again with Villarreal. Won it 3 years in a row, famously with Sevilla. And reached the final with Arsenal as well, remember, when they lost out in Baku. Looking back now, pre-pandemic, just seems absolutely bizarre, doesn't it, that Chelsea and Arsenal, I mean, it seemed bizarre at the time, Chelsea and Arsenal went all the way to Baku to play the Europa League final, but it happened. A cheap corner Villarreal have won from the left-hand side, and corner, be an in-swinger. Edouard Mendy, all in grey, has Gerard Moreno trying to put him off, and Chalabar's in there as well. So it's a corner from the left-hand side. 3 Villarreal players inside the Chelsea 6-yard box. Here's the delivery. The near post comes off Rudiger's head. Back post chance for Ruel Albiol, but he misses his kick altogether. The experienced former Spanish international. However, he's been able to cross it in from the right-hand side, but that's headed away on the edge of the box by Zuma. Headed back into the penalty area. Pau Torres is still up there. Bounces down, and then Alonso's underneath it and gives it the big up and under out of play on the halfway line.
It just fell to the wrong player, didn't it? As it came down, Albiol, it was coming out the sky. Very difficult technique, and credit to N'Golo Kante. He's the first one out to really get in his face, and he perhaps takes his eye off the ball, has a little look at N'Golo Kante. It's the first little period of pressure that Villarreal have sustained on Chelsea.
Just switched on to 5 Live tonight, live football commentary. That'll be the way of it for the next 9 months or so, with the new football season underway. Chelsea 0, Villarreal 0. This match being played in Belfast, and a decent atmosphere as well around the stadium. It is the biggest sporting event in Northern Ireland since the original lockdown, in terms of the crowd that has been allowed in tonight. I would imagine it'll There'll be a real feel-good feeling around Windsor Park this evening. If only we could be there as well. Kante on the halfway line clears it, but it's taken on by Alberto Moreno, and Moreno now looking for the run of Pedraza, but Callum Hudson-Odoi went with him, and Pedraza just a hand in the back, down he went. Hudson-Odoi, free kick Chelsea.
I think that's something Callum Hudson-Odoi has done extremely well. I've seen him play in this wing-back position quite a few times now, and not afraid to do the defensive side of his game. He's so quick in his recovery run, and I think he could be a real attribute for Chelsea this season, playing in that role.
0-0, and Chelsea with the ball on the right. Hudson-Odoi playing it forward. Werner's made a run right over towards the right-hand side, but Etienne Capoue was able to come in and get there ahead of Ziyech. And Etienne Capoue, the former Tottenham and Watford man, who has got a blonde rinse. He's got his normal coloured beard, and he's also got a massive strapping and bandage all the way down one leg. His right leg is, from the bottom of his shorts to the top of his sock, all you can see is bandage. And the other one as well, who's a doubt for this game, was the other former Tottenham man, Van Foyt, who's playing at right back, who's also a doubt for this game. And I say that he's got a knee strapped as well, but he is fit enough to play in the game. Got an injury in training earlier this week. Is now a permanent player for Villarreal, incidentally, Van Foyt, after a move something in the region of £13.5 million during the course of the summer, but as you'll remember, was involved in that epic game against Manchester United in Gdansk in the Europa League final at the end of the last club season, when Villarreal were so certain with their penalties. Here's Rudiger up towards the left-hand side. Alonso is there. The man who scored the winning goal in the Champions League final, Kai Havertz, available, but he goes back to the halfway line, Alonso. And now here's Chalobah again on the left-hand side. He's got a left hand bandaged, Chalobah, I notice. Breaks down for Chelsea. Now Alberto Moreno on the left-hand side, plays it down the left. Dia, the Senegal international, now is onto the ball, left corner of the box, on his right foot. Wanted quite a lot of time there, but he delivers it back towards Yeremy, whose ball in is beyond anyone in a yellow shirt, and Hudson-Odoi has it in the right back area, and Chelsea will look to play it out from the back. Chipped away by Kante, there's a 1-2 with Hudson-Odoi, and then he rolls the ball calmly across his own penalty area.
John, just to put into perspective there, Dia runs with the ball and he's on his own, because Villarreal at this moment in time are playing 6-2-2. That is how dominant Chelsea are in this game. Villarreal are really struggling to get out, and they're trying to play counter-attack, but there's no one to counter-attack with. The pace of Chelsea's back three, if you like, they're going to be far too comfortable in this game. They need to change something. Unai Emery is on the sideline pointing and shouting at his team.
Chelsea spread a high pass out towards the far side. Hudson-Odoi seen a lot of the ball in the early stages. Kante is there 4 or 5 yards away. Back to Hudson-Odoi again. Now back to Chalobah near the halfway line, and then Kovacic pulls it across. Rudiger halfway inside Villarreal territory. Back it goes to Kovacic, who stumbles on the ball and is very nearly dispossessed by Gerard Moreno, but is able to recover, and Chelsea keep possession. Back it goes into the centre circle to Zuma, who will carry it forward, but gives it to Rudiger, who's just available to his left, and the German international with the outside of his boot plays it up to his fellow German international. Werner keeps his feet under pressure from Raúl Albiol. Havertz now moving in from the left-hand side. Back it goes to Kovacic, 30 yards out, square from him. Chalobah is there. Long period of Chelsea possession. They're still waiting for the opening goal of the 2021 UEFA Super Cup match. Chalobah then back again to the centre circle, and Zuma is able to roll it across to Rudiger, and Villarreal are able to just sit off Chelsea as the ball is played for Alonso, and then the final touch is out of play off Werner as it was deflected into him by Yeremy, and it's a throw into Villarreal inside their own half. Just over a quarter of an hour played. Stephen Warnock, 0-0.
Yeah, something that you've noticed since Thomas Tuchel's come into Chelsea is how patient Chelsea are. Very calm on the ball, wait for the right opportunity to get a player in a 1v1 situation. When they do, they often don't turn down that opportunity. So it's patient play by Chelsea, trying to just work out the best way to break down this Villarreal defence. And as I say, they're sitting so deep, it's going to be tough to do.
And in tonight's match in the 100, Southern Brave need 145 to beat Welsh Fire in the men's match. Commentary, as I say, right now on 5 Live Sports Extra, and you will need your radio or your BBC Sounds app with you in the morning if you like your cricket for the Lord's Test match between India and England from 10:25 in the morning for news of the teams and the toss, and then the ball-by-ball commentary after that. Free kick, Hudson-Odoi is fouled on the right-hand side. He was just caught by Pedraza. The ball had gone, and it's a free kick to Chelsea in a good position, Stephen.
Yeah, just a little bit late, and Hudson-Odoi has that lovely ability just to draw fouls in and just toe pokes the ball, goes to ground. But this is where Ziyech is so deadly. Set pieces, the delivery that we know he has, and Chelsea are a big team and lots of options in the penalty box to hit.
Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi over it, both unused substitutes in the Champions League final. Either the in-swinger with the left foot from Ziyech or the out-swinger from Hudson-Odoi. 4 Chelsea players near the penalty spot. Rudiger's up there. Quite a tall team, Villarreal mind, as well. And referee Karasev is just blowing his whistle and moving across to calm things down. All of the jostling near the penalty spot. It is Ziyech into the near post, a stretching head away. It was actually Gerard Moreno, the number 7, who headed that away. Back to Ziyech. Ziyech uses Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi, Kovacic was there. I think Hudson-Odoi was caught late. Ziyech, though, right across the 6-yard box, but too close to goalkeeper Asenio. All in pink, can drop forward at the near post and catch the ball into his chest.
Clever play again from Chelsea on the right-hand side, just making sure that they get a 3v2 situation. A couple of 1-2s down the side, releases Ziyech in and tries to fizz it on his perhaps weaker right foot. Well read by the goalkeeper, but again, Chelsea far too comfortable, far too easy for them to get in.
Blackpool 1-0 up at Bloomfield Road on Middlesbrough in the Carabao Cup. Callum Connolly opening the scoring, and Villarreal with Capoue, who went down. The microphones have picked up the cry of anguish as the challenge came in on him. It's a free kick to Villarreal. As I say, almost exactly on the halfway line, which they take short. Here's Trigueros infield, and Gerard Moreno goes down again. Howls of anguish. Kante with this challenge. Rudiger was there as well. Free kick is given. This is getting on for halfway inside the Chelsea half.
Again, something that Chelsea were really good at last season, breaking play up, slowing it down, tactical fouls in and around the pitch. It was a little bit late from Rudiger, but they're so aggressive in the way that they go and close down the opposition, and it was something that Thomas Tuchel was probably implementing during the season last year for Chelsea when he came into the job.
Yeah, breaking up the play very effectively. This is only Tuchel's 31st competitive match as the head coach of Chelsea, and they've kept 19 clean sheets in his first 30, including Porto in the Champions League final. Free kick for Villarreal, though, on the right-hand side. Alberto Moreno runs over it. It is delivered up to the edge of the penalty area where Chelsea are able to get it away. Rudiger ends up on the ground. Havertz hoists it away but hasn't cleared the penalty area by any distance at all. Comes back to him though after Alonso won the header, and Hudson-Odoi playing it into Kante, who had to be quick there to get to it ahead of Yeremy, but he was, and referee Karasev says that the deflection off Yeremy took it out for a throw-in to Chelsea near the halfway line. So still 0-0, almost halfway through the first half, and Chelsea look to build a game from the back. Rudiger takes a touch and gives it back to Zuma, who has a little shuffle forward and then gives it back to Rudiger, who will cross the halfway line. Werner makes a run. Havertz still out towards the left-hand side, and now Alonso to Werner, who turns, uses his pace into the penalty area, but then as the sliding challenge came in from Raul Albiol, He just took a heavy touch there, Werner, and it ran through for a goal kick.
Well, a wasted opportunity for Werner, because as Alonso dips inside and plays the ball with the outside of his left foot, Ziyech is in at the back post, and all he has to do is just roll it across the box first time. He's got his head down, he's got one thing in his mind, is to take the defender on, when a simple pass would have been a simple tap in for Ziyech in the middle of the goal.
Actually, Albiol got a touch on it, onto Werner, and that was what took it through for the goal kick. So I think we have to give Albiol a bit of credit there, given away by Villarreal to Havertz on the edge of the penalty area. Kante was onto it, into the box. Now Ziyech looks up, left foot across to the back post. That's headed away by Foyt for Villarreal, and then a stumble means that Chelsea are back in possession. A slip from Yeremy, Rudiger. Chelsea now to Alonso. Alonso keeps his feet as the challenge comes in, goes for the byline. They both go to ground, Alonso and also defender Yeremy, who then shoves over Marcos Alonso. The ball's out of play, and I think that's been given as a free kick.
Yeah, as Yeremy just wouldn't leave Alonso alone. The real good tussle down the left-hand side. Couple of slips on the pitch. Maybe it's newly laid, but the pair of them are really tussling, and then he's not really going anywhere, Alonso, and Yeremy just can't help but just clip his heel. So a good crossing position for Chelsea. It's Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi stood over the ball on the left-hand side.
Chelsea 0, Villarreal 0. More on the Carabao Cup coming in a moment, but Hudson-Odoi has a little look across at Ziyech, who is there with him. Hudson-Odoi, it is Ziyech with the delivery to the back post this time, headed away only to Alonso on the edge of the box. Alonso gives it back to Ziyech on the left flank where he took the free kick, then flights the ball in towards the back post. Chalobah takes it down, but in comes the challenge, and the referee says it took a touch off the defender. It's another corner, Chelsea's corner over in Belfast in the Super Cup. Hudson-Odoi to the near post, but poor delivery this time, easily cleared away out of play by Trigueros for a throw-in. 15 yards back, in fact level with the edge of the Villarreal penalty area. Alonso takes the throw, then gets it back, sweeps it back to Rudiger, and now centrally for Zuma. Chalobah there had a chance, Stephen, at the back post for Chelsea.
Yeah, you were just wondering whether he was going to try and take it on first time, almost like a Van Basten type chance, as it came over from Ziyech from the left hand side, diagonal ball to the right, and tried to take a touch. It just got away from him, but good defending from Villarreal. There's a clear gulf in class here, John.
Yeah, there is. Kovacic now, high ball, what a good ball as well. Hudson-Odoi took it down brilliantly too. Little stumble from him. Chelsea still have it. Ziyech on the right hand side. Ziyech, and then the defender comes in, takes a touch. It's another corner to Chelsea. Ziyech's quickly across there. Lots of photographers behind the hoardings with their long lenses pointed at the Chelsea players, 6 of them, who are grouping near the penalty spot. Chalobah is in there as well. Here is the delivery from the corner from Ziyech to the back post, but it's over everyone. Werner backing away. He had Alberto Moreno with him, but it's wasted, the set piece. It's behind. It's a goal kick to the Spanish side. Chelsea 0, Villarreal 0. Werner slips on the edge of the area, and so Villarreal can clear through Pau Torres. Still Coventry 1, Northampton 0, Burton 0, Oxford United 0, and Blackpool 1, Middlesbrough 0 in the other matches. The draw, I think, is later tonight for the second round.
I'm sorry, John, I'll let you come in first.
Havertz plays it across, chance in the middle, Ziyech is there, left foot to score from the edge of the 6-yard box and give Chelsea the goal they've deserved in this Super Cup match. They're 1-0 up on Villarreal.
It's nothing more than they've deserved. They've been so comfortable in this game, Chelsea. They work the ball down the left-hand side, and it's Kai Havertz, a lovely pulled back ball to the 6-yard box, and Ziyech just running in, opens his body out, pushes the ball into the goal. Goalkeeper with absolutely no chance, but it's more to all that Chelsea deserved. They've been dominant in this game. Left-footed finish from Ziyech into the far right-hand corner. Superb.
Just came across the defender and tucked it away, really. Not the cleanest of contact, but he just had to get it in target from that position, just maybe a yard or two outside the 6-yard box in a central position. And Hakim Ziyech scores the first competitive goal for Chelsea this season. And the Champions League winners are 1-0 up in the Super Cup match.
What I was going to say to you, John, as you were sort of giving the information out about the other games, there was a stat flashed up on the TV in front of us. Chelsea had had 222 passes and Villarreal had had 44. That is how dominant this game is. It's how easy it's been for Chelsea, although Villarreal are on the break.
They are inside the penalty area. Well, Chelsea clear it, comes out to Capoue. I'm sure they'll show us that again, and there's a wasteful shot rather from Alberto Moreno. It's not known to be one of the strong suits of his game, and he slashed it well wide of the left post. But what about this? Yeremy played it across the box, the defender slid in, but I think his arm was close enough. I think it was in the natural position, as they say.
Yeah, the new rules this season be interesting. Obviously, UEFA have their own rules compared to the Premier League, but it's something that we are going to be aware of in the Premier League moving on.
Yep, you'll have to be on your toes about that for the new Premier League season as Kovacic brings it forward, gives it to Havertz on the left-hand side. Havertz, who created the goal in this match, having scored the winning goal just before half-time when we're in Porto at the end of last season, and Chelsea have to go back towards the halfway line, but in good heart now. Chelsea attempting to win this trophy for the second time. They won it back in 1998 when Gus Poyet scored the only goal against Real Madrid, when Gianluca Vialli was the manager, head coach back then, when Chelsea won it in Monaco. But 3 times they've been in this match since then and lost them all. Here is Chelsea with Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. Finds Kovacic. Chelsea going for a second goal. Havertz playing it through the inside left position for the run of Alonso, but this time Havertz put too much on it and it was through for a goal kick.
Very, very lively performance from Kai Havertz. Yes, he's overhit the ball there, but his movement for the goal, the cutback, everything about it was superb, and he's just looking to be involved in everything. You can see there's a real confidence about him. I think it's going to be a big season for him this year as well, and I think he understands the pressure of Lukaku coming into the club.
Yep, most certainly. Here come Villarreal though, with Trigueros, who plays it all the way across the box. Yeremy's onto this, shoots, it took a deflection which looped it up, and Mendy had to be sharpish, but it had the pace taken off it, and it was a relatively comfortable task for Mendy to take a few steps back and catch it. So it is still 1-0, Ziyech scoring that goal in the 27th minute. The Romelu Lukaku signing, I think, is just a matter of course away from being confirmed and announced by Chelsea. Might happen before the end of the evening, might be confirmed by Chelsea during the course of this match. You never know. Thomas Tuchel himself, when he speaks later, might confirm the news. But Chelsea, who have Lukaku to come, look in good heart here, and lots of power on the substitutes bench should they need it. But it's been quite a passive performance so far from the side that finished 7th in La Liga last season, Villarreal.
Really poor. Disappointed. I thought they'd give a real good challenge to Chelsea, and they broke away a couple of times, but the quality just simply isn't there. And Chelsea, it's almost like a training game, but they're moving the ball quickly. They're not taking it easy on Villarreal.
Havertz comes across, ball bounces out of play. Foyt put in the challenge, and it's out for a throw-in. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 0. The 7:45 kickoffs reaching the halfway mark. 32 minutes played in the Super Cup match in Belfast, and now Foyt is bringing the ball forward, plays it in the box. Dia with a chance. Mendy comes out, makes a good block, well out of his 6-yard box, got his left hand to it. Villarreal's first real chance. They come again, ball driven across the penalty area, takes a final touch off Rudiger, which deflects it away out of the box, and then a throw-in is conceded for Chelsea. But Mendy did his job when called upon.
Oh, his outstanding goalkeeping from Mendy. Lovely little slip ball in behind Rudiger, and then Mendy is so alive to the situation, comes rushing out of his goal, narrows the angle, big strong leg. Outstanding from Mendy. Big addition to Chelsea, huge improvement on that goalkeeping area, the position that they needed to strengthen, and he's certainly done that.
Raul Albiol has Timo Werner chasing him, which I would have thought Raul Albiol at the age of 35 is not keen to get involved in a sprint with Werner, so as it bounced, just hooked it out of play for a throw into Chelsea down the left. But a good chance, best chance Villarreal have had. Boulaye Dia, the Senegal international, on his right foot, but Mendy making a decent save. Chelsea leading 1-0. Half-time approaching. Give you the scores when they come in from the half-times in the Carabao Cup. And when we get to half-time in this match, by the way, during the break, we will be hearing from Phil Foden, who's been talking to our BBC colleague Simon Stone today about playing with Jack Grealish this season and his improvements under Pep Guardiola and the latest on his injury. I think he's going to miss the first 4 weeks or so of the season, Phil Foden, but you'll hear from him at half-time as Chelsea come forward with Alonso's ball across the box, cleared away to the edge of the penalty area, and Villarreal are able to clear it away. Jeremy, though, has played a pass that was a little short back to Trigueros, so Ziyech has got it, plays it in, Alonso with a chance, and Desenio goes down to make a good save near the foot of his right post, and then Ziyech claiming that he's been fouled in the full-back position. I think it's been given as a corner.
They just can't find the way out, Villarreal. They're getting swarmed upon by Chelsea every single time, and this time it's Ziyech into Alonso. Alonso tries to just guide the ball with his left foot on the left-hand side of the penalty box into the bottom corner. It's a great save from Desenio.
So it is a corner that Chelsea take short. And here is Alonso, who's just seen that chance saved, and he's bundled over by Dia just outside of his outside of the Villarreal penalty area. So Chelsea with a free kick in a good position here. It's rather soft, that one. Half-time scores: Blackpool 1, Middlesbrough 0, Burton Albion 0, Oxford United 0, and Coventry 1, Northampton 0. All half-time scores in the Cup. And we will have, hopefully by 10:30 tonight, 5 Live Sport, news of the draw, which will be made after those matches come to their conclusion this evening. Free kick to Chelsea on the left, and Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech again, the usual combination in this match. Villarreal with a 2-man wall, so the free kick from an angle towards the left-hand side. Ziyech curls it into the back post, and a chance for Zuma on the edge of the 6-yard area, who got there ahead of everyone else but couldn't keep the shot down and blazed it wide and high.
What a phenomenal ball, an absolute peach of a ball from Ziyech, and he just fizzes it in behind the defence. The goalkeeper came, and then he just went back on his line, and such is the pace of the ball, Zuma couldn't throw his head on it, just stuck an outstretched leg onto it and blazes it over. But the quality of ball is just simply sensational.
Yeah, lovely delivery as well, wasn't it, by Ziyech. Chelsea 1-0 up, could easily be more. So 1-0 to Chelsea, less than 10 minutes to go to half-time. Big matches tomorrow night in the Europa League qualifiers for St Johnstone and Celtic with a decent lead. St Johnstone Galatasaray, the second leg of that, level at 1-1. That would be some win, wouldn't it, if St Johnstone knocked Galatasaray out of Europe. So we'll have news of that tomorrow night, and that would be during a special 5 Live Sport Olympic guest list tomorrow night, when Alison Kirbishley and Steve Parry will have lots and lots of the medal winners. That is from 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Should be really good. Chelsea playing the ball away on the edge of the box as Zuma could easily have scored a second goal for Chelsea a few moments ago. Kovacic now in the centre circle is leaned into by Dia, and that's not given us a free kick. It's given us a free kick the other way, because Kovacic went down, grabbed the ball. It's been given as a handball. Dia's got away with one there, I think.
Oh, he certainly has. Lovely play from Kovacic. He does this so well. He just shields the ball, gets his body across, and then he gets shoved in the back, goes to ground, and naturally thinks, well, I'll just carry the ball, I'll hold the ball because it's going to be my free kick. And referee somehow sees it different to us.
But it's a game of opinions, as people keep telling me. Here's Pau Torres now, who's had a very busy summer. Pau Torres with a long ball into the box. Alonso hasn't swept it away behind, under pressure from Trigueros, but he was able to follow that up and put it behind for a moment there, for a split second. I thought he was going to slice it straight into the path of the Villarreal number 14, but it is a corner.
first opportunity that Villarreal have got to swing it in under the crossbar of Mendy. Make sure that these set pieces count, because the way the game's gone so far, they aren't getting too many opportunities, and this is a real way to get themselves back into the game.
I think I saw a glance. I think it is Alberto Moreno who's going to play it in from the right hand side. It is, who plays it into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away safely enough for Chelsea towards the halfway line, and Villarreal start again, but the referee is bringing it back for something which isn't immediately apparent until we now see Ziyech, who is down, and he's obviously taken a bang, and I'm not sure if he's fallen awkwardly on his shoulder, because he's lying on his left side and feeling his right shoulder. We'll have to wait until we see a replay of what happened. It was obviously defending the corner. Well, this is a concern because he's been as good as anyone, Ziyech, and obviously has scored the goal so far.
Yeah, it is a concern, especially with a shoulder injury. You just wonder how he's fallen. We're just seeing a replay ourselves, and he actually doesn't fall. It's the incident. He's with Juan Foyt, and he just gets hold of his arm ever so slightly, and then there's no real contact, but then he just grimaces, doesn't he, as he pulls away. So whether he's just strained it ever so slightly, but it seemed very innocuous, didn't it?
That is a strange one. That when you saw him initially on the ground, you're thinking that he's fallen badly. But as you say, Stephen, this is his second season now, so he's settled in. He's had his first season, and he really played some great stuff, didn't he, at times for Ajax in the very good seasons that he had there. And now you think, right, will we see this season him really take off as a Chelsea player?
Well, I hope so, because he is a great talent. He's very pleasing on the eye. His delivery from not only set pieces. Well, this doesn't look good, John.
No, it does not. And he's lying on his back, and he's been given a sort of what do you call those things again?
Gas and air?
I thought it was actually one of those inhalers. An inhaler, that's the word I'm looking for. Whether he's lying on his back, and it is a sort of, it is like an inhaler that he's got. So whether he actually, I don't know if he suffers from asthma or what, but he looks okay. He doesn't look in any great distress. But they're being very, very careful with him.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they won't want to take any chances with him. Certainly with the season starting for them on Saturday, they want to make sure that they don't take any chances.
Yeah, he's sitting up
but
now.
He's still holding it, isn't he?
Got a problem with his right shoulder. Sitting on the ground, Chelsea players are coming across. Clearly Chelsea are not with the options that they've got. The orange stretcher is being brought now by the stretcher bearers in their bottle green shirts. And so we've got a lengthy stoppage here as half-time approaches, and Ziyech is going to be helped to his feet, and applause from the crowd behind the goal there. Lots of Chelsea flags in that part of the ground, I can see from the pictures, and he's got the front of his shirt, his blue Chelsea shirt, up in a sort of makeshift sling for his right arm, his right shoulder, and that is going to be the end of the evening for the man who has scored the only goal of the match so far, Hakim Ziyech, the Moroccan international, who is now being led away around the side of the pitch, and Chelsea will make the first change of the 5 that they can make this evening, plus one more should it go to extra time if necessary.
That's a real shame for Chelsea, and real shame for Ziyech as well, who's been, like you say, John, outstanding so far in the game, and you just hope that it's all a little bit of a strain and not too much of a major injury, but he doesn't look comfortable at all as he grimaces as he walks off the pitch.
No, so that's something else that we'll need to find out afterwards from Thomas Tuchel when he speaks to the media. So Christian Pulisic, the American international, is on, having come on as a substitute in both the FA Cup final and the Champions League final last season. He's now on as a substitute. The first change in the UEFA Super Cup match. On what looks like quite a warm night, actually, in Belfast. Whenever we see a close-up of the players, they've got sweat all over their faces. There's Rudiger comes across and puts in an uncompromising challenge on Jeremy. He took the ball, but he got a little bit of Jeremy as well, and Villarreal do not like that at all. Just outside the penalty area, the referee is going to call Rudiger across, and clearly Villarreal are saying that was a reckless challenge. And Unai Emery, we've just seen a shot of Unai Emery, who with his hands in his arms is clearly suggesting there was too much force involved in the challenge from Rudiger. I know that any sort of old stagers and old-fashioned defenders will look at that, and I think we'll wonder what all the fuss is about, but let's see.
He's going to his pocket.
He's gone to his pocket. It's a yellow card for Rudiger, who has raised his eyebrows, put his palms up, has looked to the crowd, and we will now see it replayed.
Yeah, it's the follow-through, isn't it, John? It's the follow-through up onto the leg. Very difficult one, because he's got every right to go for the ball, and then it's the follow-through, but it's actually with his knee, it's not with his boot, and it's just a forceful challenge. Not so sure that's a yellow card.
I mean, as I've suggested, I know things are different, things have changed, and the player's safety is paramount, but as a defender, you're kind of looking to make challenges like that in that situation, aren't you?
Yeah, well, he had to, because of the speed he had to cover across the ground to get to the challenge to make it. Naturally, there's going to be a force. Now there's a discussion going on with Thomas Tuchel and the referee about the challenge. And
Thomas Tuchel has obviously spoken out of turn to, I'm guessing, the fourth official, another Russian, Alexei Kulbakov, who I suspect has called across referee Karasev, who's shown a yellow card to Thomas Tuchel.
He just sits down and shakes his head in disbelief, and I have to agree with him.
So it is a free kick as a result, and it's in a really good position as well. Chelsea leading Villarreal by 1-0. 5 Live UEFA Super Cup in the new, sparkling and improved Windsor Park Stadium, and a free kick to Villarreal. Alberto Moreno and Manu Trigueros are over this. Alberto Moreno runs over it. Trigueros plays it in. Poor, very, very poor from Trigueros, and easily headed away by Kovacic, who was effectively the first defender.
No, rubbish. Absolutely terrible free kick. I mean, you can't beat the first man there. There's an opportunity for Moreno to either shoot at goal or really fizz it towards the back post. The in-swinging ball has to be the ball from that set piece. It was really, really poor.
The excellent use of an old-fashioned rubbish. Here's Villarreal with Jeremy on the right-hand side, back towards the halfway line. Foyt then infield towards Raúl Albiol. Chelsea, they've comprehensively controlled the first half. They lead by only 1-0. It could easily be more. Villarreal really with just the one clear chance when Dia was in and Mendy made a very good save. But Villarreal going back to Foyt and Albiol, and the bearded World Cup winner, European Championship winner in his great days when he was at Real Madrid. Remember, he went to Napoli as well before coming to Villarreal, and captaining the team tonight. Club captain Mario Gaspar is among the substitutes this evening. Albiol playing the ball to the right-hand side, and now Jeremy up against Alonso comes in field, gives it to Gerard Moreno. 30 goals last season. Gerard Moreno taking up a position on the right-hand side, gives it to Jeremy, the 18-year-old, against Alonso. Kovacic is there as well, though, and between the two of them, the Chelsea men come away with the ball, and Kante up towards Werner, who fouls Albiol on the halfway line. Referee's not given that as a free kick. Sure, Werner caught him. Alonso sends it high downfield, but that will bounce harmlessly out of play.
And he put his whistle in his mouth as if he was going to give it, and then changed his mind. But I have to say, Albiol looks in fantastic condition. And you think of 35 and the level he's playing at now, he's definitely looking after himself correctly, and he's been exceptional so far in the game when called upon.
Yep, and they, of course, as Europa League winners, will be playing in the Champions League again this season. First time Villarreal have been in it for 10 years. Ball into the box, Gerard Moreno, who's been such an important part of what they've done. Does well, chips it to the back post. The chance for Alberto Moreno clatters against the crossbar, bounces down and out. It did not cross the line. The technology has not come into play. And Chelsea's goal survives. But Alberto Moreno now with another opportunity with a shot from the angle, which is dragged well wide by Pedraza. But Gerard Moreno did extremely well on the right-hand side. And Alberto Moreno's shot absolutely made the crossbar, the whole frame of the goal, shudder as it hit the underside. It did not cross the line, bounced out and away.
Well, out of nowhere. And it's just a moment of brilliance from Gerard Moreno down the right-hand side to dig out the cross to the back post, and much to Mendy's sort of pleasure hitting the crossbar, it helped him out because he was definitely beaten by the ball, and everyone turned round to look at the referee to see whether he was going to signal that it had gone over the line, and fortunately for Chelsea it hadn't.
And the half-time whistle has gone in Belfast, and in fact the players have already left the field, with Chelsea leading Villarreal by 1-0. If the Spanish club had got back into it there, I think Chelsea would have been shaking their heads and wondering how on earth they were level at half-time, but they've got the advantage.
Yeah, they certainly would have been, because it's always a dangerous score, and when you're so dominant in a game, often that one moment where you just a lapse of concentration, which it was at the back post. Hudson-Odoi just got caught under the ball and Moreno crashes it off the bar. Chelsea get away with one right at the end.
Yeah, that was a let-off for them, but they've had enough chances and enough of the game really to almost be out of sight by now. However, it is still a live contest for the second half in Belfast, where Chelsea lead Villarreal by 1-0 at half-time. Yes, thank you, Emma. Just seeing Callum Hudson-Odoi coming out with his hand over his mouth talking to Kurt Zouma. So Chelsea are out in the blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks, and the Villarreal players, all in yellow, are now making their way out onto the field. While we were watching at half-time, the television camera showed us a close-up of Cesar Azpilicueta, which made us wonder if the club captain was going to be coming on at half-time, but I'm not sure if he is. So the teams are, as they ended the first half, no further changes because the scene is set now for the start of the second period. Mendy in goal for Chelsea. Three central defenders: Trevor Chalobah on his competitive debut for the first team, Kurt Zouma and Antonio Rudiger, Hudson-Odoi, Kante, Kovacic and Alonso. Then Pulisic, who came on as a substitute for Hakim Ziyech, the goal scorer, on the right, Havertz on the left, and Werner through the middle. Villarreal get the second half underway. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Listen as well via BBC Sounds. Chelsea leading Villarreal by 1-0 in the 2021 UEFA Super Cup, which is being played in Northern Ireland, being played in Belfast. The first time this match has been staged in the UK since it was played in Cardiff, remember, back in 2014 when Real Madrid won it against Unai Emery's Sevilla, actually. Villarreal coming forward down the right-hand side, and Kante had to adjust Jeremy's cross, and he's actually turned it behind for a first corner of the second half to the Spaniards, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, arguably one of their most lively players in the first half, Jeremy. He's been competitive against Marcos Alonso and did well down that right-hand side for Villarreal and created a corner for his team.
Yep, did well for them last season. Jeremy Pino. Here's the corner for Villarreal, headed down and away by Havertz. Comes out, it is Jeremy. Tiny little figure, passes the ball in field, but Chelsea are coming out. Capoue stretches, he can't get there. Poor touch by Kovacic, but Chalobah was there to follow up and clear it away. So the Villarreal side, Unai Emery's Villarreal side, as they started, Asenjo in goal. He actually played almost all of the league matches last season, while Rulli played in almost all of the matches in the Europa League, but Rulli's on the bench. So Asenjo in goal, a back four of Foyt, Raul Albiol, Pau Torres and Alfonso Pedraza, and Capoue in the centre of midfield with Trigueros and Alberto Moreno, and then the front line of Jeremy on the right, Boulaye Dia and Gerard Moreno. Ball just bouncing out of play in the second minute of the second half. The 100 continues on 5 Live Sports Extra on your digital radio, and we're just seeing, Stephen, a shot of Hakim Ziyech, who's got his training gear on now, and he's got a support which is over his right shoulder and supporting his right arm.
Yeah, I think the positive I'd take out of that, John, is that he's not had to go to hospital. Maybe they just feel that it's okay to put it in the sling and protect it for the night until they get back to the training ground, and then they can assess him.
Yep, and if you weren't listening in the first half, star-studded substitutes bench, as well as Pulisic, who has already come on. Jorginho and Emerson are there, two of Italy's European Championship winners. Mason Mount, Ben Chilwell, Reece James, Azpilicueta I mentioned. Here's Havertz coming forward and shooting from an angle into the side netting. Asensio's down quickly, hit it well, but it was a few feet wide and flicked outside of the side netting.
Lovely ball from Kurt Zouma, diagonal to the left-hand side of Alonso. He just pushes it into the path of Kai Havertz, and then as he strides forward, the Villarreal players just back off, and they almost let the floodgates open for him. He doesn't need a second invite, strikes it so well, just an inch wide past the post. He was lively in the first half, and he started the second half well as well.
And that match in the 100 is over. Southern Brave have beaten Welsh Fire by 8 wickets, and that means that Fire are eliminated. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 0. Sounds vaguely preposterous, that, doesn't it? Here's Hudson-Odoi coming in from the right-hand side. Hudson-Odoi, middle of the Villarreal half, goes back towards the halfway line. I feel like it was almost like an alarm, wasn't it? Don't worry, everyone. It's nothing to be concerned about.
I saw you when you looked at the sheets, and you were thinking, "Is this true?"
Sounds like the sort of thing you hear in the hotel at 11 o'clock in the morning. Here's Rudiger, who takes the ball down the left-hand side. Rudiger then slips it into Havertz inside the box, plays it out towards the far side, but Jeremy is there, and he's able to find Gerard Moreno on the right, which is blocked out of play for a throw into Villarreal near the halfway line. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 0. And Chelsea's first match, by the way, it's a 5 Live commentary match at home to Crystal Palace, which I think is an interesting one. European champions starting the Premier League season. Romelu Lukaku, one would have thought that will be confirmed, certainly by then. So that is our first Saturday 3 o'clock commentary match of this new season in the Premier League. So Ian Dennis and Matthew Upson will be there, but the whole thing starts on Friday night. Do join us for commentary on Brentford Arsenal, which I think is a very interesting one to begin it all. Brentford in the top flight again. So
looking forward to seeing how they fare, John.
Yeah,
I think they're very, very well equipped to do well.
I think they will be a story to watch this season, and I think that's a fascinating first game. So 8 o'clock tomorrow, Friday night. Do join us for that on 5 Live. Mendy misplaces his pass, and Villarreal, with the noisy backing of their supporters, who are actually at that part of the ground where Mendy put it out of play. There will be round about 1,000 of them, I think, and they're brightly turned out, of course, and noisy as well, yellow shirted, with all of their flags and banners from down in south east Spain. Villarreal with the ball inside their own half, played back towards Raúl Albiol, who passes it forward to Alberto Moreno, who has Pulisic next to him, so goes back into his own half. Have you been to Villarreal on your travels, Stephen?
I haven't, no.
No, it's an interesting little place. Ball played forward. Chalobah gets a touch on it. Alberto Moreno takes it into the penalty area. Chalobah comes back into the challenge. Shoulder to shoulder, the two of them. Little Moreno bounces off him and is sent almost cartwheeling over the dead ball line. But it is a goal kick to Chelsea, that's all.
Yeah, he did extremely well there, Trevor Chalobah. He got caught out ever so slightly, and then just the strength and the speed to get back. Just budged over Moreno, who bounced off him. But he's had a really good game, Chalobah. He hasn't looked uncomfortable. He's looked calm in possession every time he's had it. He's always what was a mistake.
Mendy slipped over as he took the goal kick. Now it's played back. Gerard Moreno with a chance, and he hits the post. Seems certainly would equalise. The Villarreal number 7 shaped himself beautifully the right side of the penalty area, shot past Mendy, but it hit the bottom of the upright and bounced out, and now Villarreal have hit the frame of the Chelsea goal twice in the match.
We had a camera angle right behind the goal as Mendy struck it, and he just slipped, drilled it into Dia, and Dia, he just took one touch and drilled it into Gerard Moreno, who just received it with his right foot and then opened his body up and tried to find a far corner with his left foot, crashes it off the post. But that's what can happen in a game of football, just that moment of a lack of concentration or a mistake, and you can find yourselves to level terms in a game that you've hugely dominated.
Yeah, and actually Villarreal, those two chances they had, the Alberto Moreno thundering volley before half-time that hit the underside of the crossbar and stayed out, and now Gerard Moreno with the chance that hit the post. Chelsea could actually be behind in the game, and they really would be kicking themselves. But they lead 1-0 through the goal from the now injured Hakim Ziyech that was set up by Havertz. Alonso jumps for the ball on the halfway line, bounces down, and Raul Albiol will pass it back to goalkeeper Asenio. It's what Villarreal do, really. They were undefeated, you know, in the Europa League last season. Remember how they knocked out Arsenal in the semi-final, and took Manchester United absolutely all the way with that penalty shootout in Gdansk. Here's Capoue forward towards the edge of the box. That's cleared away by Chalobah, and now Kante steps inside his own half, comes away with the ball, gives it to Pulisic. Hudson-Odoi available, but Pulisic takes it on. Werner peels away to the right-hand side as well. Werner back to Hudson-Odoi, square from him to Kante. Kante turns, and back it goes to Chalobah. A little bit ponderous now, this from Chelsea, and Villarreal are back in position.
Werner just killed the attack, made the same run as Hudson-Odoi. Just wants to wait to that shot.
Rudiger had a goal from 30 yards, given the angle, got right underneath it and skied it.
He nearly hit us in Salford.
And in those lovely hills to the north of Belfast.
Oh, it's actually, John, we've just seen a replay of that Gerard Moreno chance, and it's an unbelievable save from Mendy. Huge right arm, pushes it round pushes it onto the post as Villarreal come forward again. Villarreal coming forward, the ball played across from Pedraza from the dead ball line, and he hit it straight at goalkeeper Mendy, who picked it up. While we were watching the replays of the save, the very good save it was from Mendy from Gerard Moreno when it hit the post. It's one of those situations where suddenly Chelsea got into problems. It was Chalobah who was dispossessed by Pedraza, but he couldn't take advantage, the left back for Villarreal. I'd like to see that opportunity again, because it looked clearly offside, but credit to Villarreal, they've come out in the second half and they are having a go at Chelsea. They're getting more of the ball.
They are. It's a better contest. Kovacic playing it forward for Werner, who makes the run, but Foyt went with him, got there comfortably ahead of the Chelsea man, and now Villarreal, this is much better from them. The flow is much better as Yeremy to Gerard Moreno, who plays it in. Dia was after that, and a crucial interception from a stretching Chalobah, because Dia was behind him. If he'd missed that, Dia would surely have scored.
Outstanding from young Trevor Chalobah. Outstretched leg, almost like a bicycle kick to keep it away from Moreno coming in at the back post. Brilliant from Chalobah. Definitely stops a goal-scoring opportunity. Probably would have been a goal for Villarreal.
Coming on strong, Villarreal, even though they're 1-0 down. Corner is taken short, then it's swung across towards the back post, and Chelsea clear away through first Pulisic and then Kante's header. Get the latest on the night's matches in the Carabao Cup shortly, but Villarreal bringing it forward with the blonde head Capoue. His pass breaks down, and so Kante took it to the centre circle, and then Pulisic was heading in the wrong direction when Kovacic passed to him, and I'm afraid that's how it is for Chelsea at the moment, just a little disjointed. Might need some freshening up from Thomas Tuchel, Stephen, yeah?
Yeah, I think just the passing's being poor in the second half from Chelsea, but credit to Villarreal, they've become more aggressive in the way that they're closing down the Chelsea players, but a little bit of complacency from Chelsea.
Yep, that's the way of it in the Carabao Cup. Unlike the Super Cup that we're watching, that would be extra time, and Villarreal are going to make their first change now. Unai Emery just giving some urgent instructions to the Ecuadorian international Pervis Estupiñán, who is coming on to replace Pedraza, Alfonso Pedraza, so a straight swap, left back for left back. Northampton have turned it around against Coventry, who led 1-0, but it is now Coventry 1, Northampton Town 2, and Keon Etete has scored both of Northampton's goals. Going to Nottingham Forest in a moment, but Villarreal 1-0 down, but just in this current passage of play, they're the better team, Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, they are. They've managed to string passes together. A little bit of a change of shape. They're not playing this back six anymore. They've pushed the midfielders further forward, and it's definitely helped them.
Stupinan into the match for the first time, but good challenge from Chalobah. That was no-nonsense defending.
So what's the difference, John, between that one and the Rudiger in the first half?
Absolutely. Great question. I'm not sure there was a great deal of difference. I suppose it was the pace, wasn't it? And the fact that Rudiger made yards with his race across to put in the challenge. But Villarreal coming forward again, and now looking for the pass to Estupiñán on the left, but he can't reach that. Capoue is down. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 0. Here's Pau Torres, who's involved in the Euros. Last Saturday you were watching him in the Olympic final, Pau Torres, playing for Spain, and here he is now on the Wednesday, back from Tokyo, playing in Belfast against Chelsea in the Super Cup. Who needs a rest? Gerard Moreno, right side, left-footed ball into Dier at the near post, that's headed away. Good work by Chalobah, got in where it mattered and made the header.
He's been outstanding. I mean, he made one error in the game which he got away with, where I actually think it was offside, but the covering here is stupid. It's actually Dier, isn't it, who goes in, and he just reads the cross coming in, gets himself in a really good position. Man leans into him, gets his arm across him, wins the header, standing defending again.
Yellow card is coming out for Yeremy. He put in maybe was it something he said?
I think he turned round and gestured to the assistant, the fourth official, didn't he?
Yeah. So
sorry, the referee's assistant.
And so he runs away. He's been yellow carded, Yeremy. I think a free kick went against him. He's obviously spoken to the assistant. He runs away, looks not best pleased, and then virtually leaned over and punched the ground. Chelsea leading Villarreal by 1-0. Still just the one goal in it as Chelsea look to win this trophy for the second time. First time that Villarreal have ever been involved, as you would probably have guessed, since the Europa League last season was their first major trophy. Here's Hudson-Odoi down the right-hand side, good pace, gets the cross in, headed away by Foyt near the penalty spot. Then Capoue, who's shaken off whatever the knock that he had before we went to Henry Moran was, and it's back in the centre circle with Zuma. Thiago Silva among the substitutes tonight. Zuma passes it forward, Villarreal win it back. Foyt is going to take the ball over the halfway line. Still going, Chelsea players converge on it. Foyt finds the pass to Gerard Moreno, and then as Rudiger comes in with a challenge, went to ground. Gerard Moreno is saying that the final touch was off the Chelsea defender. The officials say no, it wasn't, it's a goal kick to Chelsea.
I'm just finding areas, Villarreal now, where when Alonso and Callum Hudson-Odoi push forward, there's areas in behind and wide. They were trying to pull the centre-backs of Chelsea out of position. It's the runs from Gerard Moreno and Dier out into those wide positions that's causing them problems.
It looks like Jorginho is going to be coming on for Chelsea presently. Chelsea with the ball halfway inside Villarreal territory. Pulisic, nice dancing feet from the American. Chalobah, back to him in the centre circle. Now Hudson-Odoi on the right. Hudson-Odoi gives it to Pulisic, moves in field, turns away. Was caught late there by Alberto Moreno. That's a free kick to Chelsea in a good position. And Blackpool have taken a 2-0 lead against Middlesbrough. Lavery with the second goal. Blackpool leading Middlesbrough by 2-0. Free kick for Chelsea. Pulisic is okay. Hudson-Odoi comes across. Alonso as well. So Villarreal, who start their season incidentally on Monday against Granada in La Liga. To say, having finished 7th last season, but enjoyed that great night in Gdansk for them and their exuberant supporters. Free kick for Chelsea, though. Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel's side searching for a second goal. Alonso flights it in towards the back post. Zuma got his head to it, but is picked up for a foul. Raul Albiol ends up on the ground. It's a free kick. Villarreal's ball.
That's a better ball in from Alonso. Just a nicely flighted ball that allows Zuma to go and attack it. That's the quality that you want from set pieces.
Right, we're going to see a triple change for Chelsea, and it is a trio who are heavily involved in the Euros. And Kante is coming off, so Jorginho will come on to replace Kante. Jorginho, last I saw him, was celebrating, even though Jordan Pickford saved his penalty at the end of that penalty shootout. Jorginho, and then Timo Werner is coming off as well. I know that Mason Mount and Andreas Christensen are waiting to come on too, so Mason Mount is on, and I'll just see who Christensen, Euro 2020 semi-finalist with Denmark. Andreas Christensen is going to take the place of Kurt Zouma. So that is 4 of the 5 changes that Thomas Tuchel can make in the 90 minutes, Stephen.
I'm pleased that he's left Chalobah on. I think he's had an outstanding game so far. It's great for him to be involved with a game of this magnitude, and he's excelled in it. So big trust from the manager to leave him on the pitch, but this is where you need to sort of drip feed your players that have played in the Euros back into contention. Give them vital minutes ahead of the weekend.
Yeah, another goal for Blackpool, leading Middlesbrough 3-0 now. Keshi Anderson with the third. So Blackpool 3, Middlesbrough 0, and seemingly Blackpool heading through to the second round. We'll bring news of the draw later as well after 10 o'clock on 5 Live Sport. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 0, and Andreas Christensen, we can now see the pictures show us that Christensen is playing as the middle man of the 3 central defenders, so no change there. It was a straight swap, Christensen taking the place of Zuma. And captain now, Jorginho, who I know, Stephen, some Chelsea fans are still, he's no favourite by any means, Jorginho, but had a superb tournament with the new European champions Italy, and puts in the challenge here, getting involved in the match for the first time, but it bounces away for Villarreal.
I think because of the position he plays, and when he was brought into the club by Maurizio Sarri, he held that holding role position, and Chelsea fans just thought, that's Kante's. That was what the frustration is, and they still feel that now. And it's he dictates play, he slows it down when he wants to. He's got a magnificent range of passing, possibly not the most mobile. Italy suited him, having runners in and around him, but I thought he was outstanding in the Euros, pushing it a little bit for me with the Ballon d'Or.
Yes.
That was a bit too much.
No, but he did have a very, very good tournament. Ball play, Havertz on the chase, but out comes goalkeeper Asenio to clear it away downfield, and actually it bounces all the way to Jeremy on the right hand side. Jeremy up against Rudiger, gets the ball infield. Gerard Moreno, oh, that's a good ball to the left hand side. Now the chance from the angle from Estupinian, and that's a good save by goalkeeper Mendy. It was straight at him, but he still had to make the block from the angle.
Oh, he has to hit it first time, John. As it comes across, just put your laces through it. It's at a perfect angle. He actually changes the angle and makes it so much tighter for himself. But a great counter-attacking play from Villarreal. They have had chances in this second half.
The substitute left back, so behind, and it's another corner to Villarreal, just 1-0 to Chelsea. Precarious lead. Alberto Moreno receives it, plays it back, and now it finds its way once again to Trigueros. Right-footed ball in, headed away by Christensen for Chelsea, and Villarreal start again from the halfway line. Trigueros gives it back to Estupinian, and then Trigueros again, Alberto Moreno. Estupinian makes a run down the line, but Alberto Moreno plays it in and gets it back from Gerard Moreno, and now from him back to Trigueros with the shot, but that was blocked by Jorginho, who is back in there. Comes back again, Villarreal. Estupinian with the ball across the penalty area. Chelsea block that, and then Callum Hudson-Odoi clears it away left-footed. Thomas Tuchel's made the triple change, but it hasn't changed the game yet. Still Villarreal are the better team in the second half. And now Dia again. Dia, who's been bright, I must say, one of the summer arrivals for Villarreal. Had a good opportunity in the first half that Mendy saved well. Mendy's done well, actually, throughout the course of the game, as Villarreal have become more dominant as it's worn on. And now Pau Torres, 30 yards out. Alberto Moreno again, yellow shirt outside his shorts, uses Estupiñán, then back to Alberto Moreno. Chelsea can't get the ball back, and then Gerard Moreno in the area on the left hand side, but Chalobah comes across, takes it away from him and puts it out of play. Throw in Villarreal.
The dominating possession now. We talked about Chelsea being dominant in the first half. Villarreal have come out in the second half, pushed the wingers higher, pushed the fullbacks higher as well, tried to press higher up the pitch, and it's having a huge effect on the game.
More changes. Mario Gaspar is coming on, the club captain. Etienne Capoue is going off. I'm not surprised he's not lasted the whole game with that massive bandage on his leg. And Trigueros is also being replaced. So 2 changes in terms of the midfield. Moy Gomez, the Spanish under-21 international, former Spanish under-21 international, the number 23, is coming on into the midfield. And it is a throw-in to Villarreal. Just need to see where Mario Gaspar is going to fit in and whether Foyt is actually going to move into midfield. But Estupiñán with a cross from the left-hand side, too close to Mendy, who's able to fall out of his penalty area and grab the ball into his chest. 20 minutes to go, Stephen Warnock. Chelsea leading Villarreal by 1-0.
Well, we know that Chelsea's defensive record was so strong last year. They're going to have to rely on that a little bit in the second half, because they've been under pressure. They've defended well so far, but Villarreal, they keep on knocking on that door. You don't want to continue that for 20 minutes or so to go.
It is Chelsea in possession inside their own half. Got a first goal of the night in the Burton Albion tie, and it's Oxford United who take the lead. Alonso playing the ball in from left, but that's too close to the goalkeeper. Nathan Holland with the goal for Oxford United, who are 1-0 up at Burton. So Blackpool on the way through, 3-0 winners against Middlesbrough. Northampton still 2-1 up on Coventry City, so that is League 2 winning against Championship. Still 1-1 between Leyton Orient and QPR. That could be bound for penalties. And Nottingham Forest winning 2-1 against League 2 Bradford City. Premier League from Friday night, and over the next 9 months you will hear more Premier League commentaries on 5 Live than you will anywhere else, starting with Brentford against Arsenal, then Chelsea Crystal Palace on Saturday, and then on Sunday Newcastle West Ham and Tottenham Manchester City. This is the Super Cup with Villarreal coming forward, ball chipped forward by Foyt, headed away on the edge of the box. Jorginho was almost caught in possession there by Foyt, and now Moy Gomez new into the match. Foyt, Alberto Moreno slips it forward. Gerard Moreno couldn't find the pass for either Dia or Estupiñán, who come forward, comes back at Chelsea again. Gerard Moreno into the box, Dia, and then back to Gerard Moreno, who scores. Beautifully worked by Villarreal. It had been coming, and it's arrived. Gerard Moreno, 30 goals last season for Villarreal, scored in the Europa League final. Now he's scored in the Super Cup, and Chelsea are pegged back by Unai Emery's side. 1-1.
Well, they said they've been under huge pressure, Chelsea, and they've crumbled. They tried to play their way out from the back. They couldn't find a way to get the ball into the forward players, and credit to Villarreal. They pinched the ball. It's a lovely little give and go by Gerard Moreno with Dia. Lovely back heel from Dia, and then he just puts it into the top corner. Mendy with absolutely no chance, can't get anywhere near it, and it's exactly what Villarreal deserved in this second half.
Lovely touch from Boulaye Dia. There are the signs of a promising partnership, if that's the sort of thing that they're going to provide together. The Senegal international on the right side of the penalty area gave the ball back to Gerard Moreno, who tucked it away nicely from the angle, just lifted it high into the far top corner. And his celebration that we're seeing now, Don't know what that means. He puts his tongue out and he holds his earlobes and waggles both ears. Whether that's got any meaning down in southeast Spain or not, I'm not sure, but it means that it's Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1, and Chelsea have really been pegged back, and Villarreal have deserved it. You know, Chelsea could easily have had a comfortable lead in the first half, but Villarreal, this is a great response from them.
Well, they were nearly back in the game in the first half. They had a couple of opportunities towards the end of the half, and then we said it would be a big team talk from Thomas Tuchel to make sure that they came out in the second half, but and really went after this game. They've done anything but that. They've really sat back, and credit to Villarreal, the tactical changes that they've made have certainly worked.
Well, Chelsea mentioned the fact that last couple of times they've been in the Super Cup match, indeed the last 3 times they've lost it, and the last 2 occasions they lost on penalties. We were in Istanbul back in 2019. Did you go to that one when Liverpool won on penalties? Tammy Abraham had the final penalty saved by Adrian.
No, I was out in India.
Were you at the time?
I was covering the game for Sony in India, which was a little bit different.
You used to get around.
Yeah, very true.
Didn't we all? Here we are in the BBC studio, sitting with the heating belting out. It feels like it's a warm night, and we're watching Christensen with the ball in the centre circle. 1-1, 15 minutes to go. Would be extra time if necessary, and it will be with this scoreline. Mason Mount not really been able to get into the game so far. He's got the ball in the Villarreal right back position. Mason Mount drives it across, took a deflection, and goalkeeper Arsenio took it closer to him, and he was able to just move to his right and go down and clutch it at the foot of his right post.
He always had one thing in his mind, didn't he? Always wanted to get the ball shifted onto his right foot to get the strike away. It was well defended by Villarreal, but you're certainly right, John. They haven't had the impact that Thomas Tuchel would have wanted, the substitutes so far. Definitely Pulisic hasn't really influenced the game in any way. He's been quiet since he came on in the first half, and then Jorginho's been caught on the ball a few times, so it's not been ideal for Chelsea tonight in the second half.
Oh, that's a poor ball out from the back from Pau Torres. Chelsea could take advantage. Pulisic just outside the D, turns, then gives it to Havertz. It just ran away from him. Hudson-Odoi's there though. Hudson-Odoi's crossed to the back post, headed away by Pau Torres, and then the clearance completed by Gerard Moreno back on the edge of his own box, who's taken him. In fact, it's cramped.
I thought he pulled his hamstring doing that, but he actually got cramped,
and he's bent down and he's pulled up the toes of his left boot. Gerard Moreno, the Villarreal goal scorer. 1-1, 5 live. Now Havertz, lovely turn from Havertz into the box on the right hand side. It's a packed penalty area though, 2 defenders with him. Havertz tried to turn it across, and he just gave the ball back to Villarreal, who should clear. They do. Could have been costly, that poor ball out from the back by Pau Torres. But Chelsea start again, and suddenly we're seeing the signs that Chelsea might be able to finish the 90 minutes strongly. We've got 12 minutes plus added time to go. We're going to go to Leyton Orient in a moment. Mount plays it forward, bounces away, and then free kick given Villarreal's way. Foul by Havertz on Raúl Albiol. So 1-1 it is in Belfast. Northampton still heading through against Coventry. Northampton winning 2-1 at Coventry. Burton 0, Oxford 1, and Blackpool 3, Middlesbrough 0. All still playing. We'll let you know when the final whistle goes in those matches. We have just over 10 minutes to go in the Super Cup. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1. Chelsea led at half-time through Ziyech's first half goal, with Gerard Moreno equalising in the 73rd minute. Alonso got so far but no further down the left flank. It was simply not seen anywhere near enough of Alonso and Hudson-Odoi coming forward, the 2 wing-backs for Chelsea in the second half, because the European champions have just been penned back in for the most part by the Europa League winners. But here's Chalobah bringing it forward down the right flank on his senior competitive debut. Chalobah to the right hand side. Pulisic into the penalty area, bounces away off Estupiñán. Villarreal are saying the final touch was off the Chelsea man, but I think it's been given as a corner. Certainly the players via all of these close-ups seem to indicating that they're getting ready for a corner.
I actually thought it came off Pulisic, and it did. The first initial thoughts were he's got fortunate.
The corner though that has been erroneously given. We know that because we've seen the replay. So a corner that Alonso has come across to take from the right hand side. Left-footed delivery, the near post comes off a Villarreal head. Goalkeeper comes for it, gets a good punch on it, bounces across the penalty area. Havertz takes it down. Havertz curls it centrally. Hudson-Odoi pulls it down with his right foot, gives it to Alonso, backs away, then curls it in left-footed. Goalkeeper comes, gets a punch, and he's been a little fortunate there, and he was able to find a teammate in Dia, who I think has gone down injured, and that might be a hamstring injury for the recent signing. He's gone down on the edge of the D. In fact, 2 Villarreal players have gone down, and I think the goalkeeper might be about to do the same.
And he made a decision to come for the ball, and it was the right one in the end, because the defenders needed help. There's a lot of tired bodies out here. Really, probably the first real competitive game that they've had to get up to speed for, and it does take it out of you, John. You get to them 70-80 minute period, and this is it's taken its toll on the players.
Chelsea going to make their final change permitted in the 90 minutes, and it's the captain, club captain, Cesar Azpilicueta, who is coming on for Hudson-Odoi.
And Pulisic must have been thinking, what have I done here? The assistant referee, or the fourth official, put the number 10 up at first, and then he changed his mind after Azpilicueta told him wrong number's gone up.
Well, to be honest, with all of the substitutions that the fourth officials and their electronic boards have to cope with, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. It might be something of a relief when we get back to only 3 substitutions allowed in the Premier League this weekend. I've been seeing substitutions in my sleep all summer after the Euros. Play back underway. I think it was just cramp for Dia. He's okay. We need to get back to the penalty shootout as well at Leyton Orient, which we'll do when we get a chance, as Yeremy chests the ball down in his own box. 1 or 2 Chelsea fans optimistically shouting for handball, but Yeremy was able to take it away and clear it away. But Chelsea coming forward. We've got 6 minutes to go. Azpilicueta now with the captain's armband on as well, the Champions League winning captain, crossing from the right. It comes off Estupiñán and it's out of play for Chelsea. Corner from the right. Alonso again caused difficulties with his last delivery in from this side. Alonso takes it in now into the 6-yard box, makes some contact, comes out for the shot from Jorginho. That was blocked inside the penalty area, blocked away to comparative safety. Chelsea fire it back in. Alonso with a header, but it's straight at Asenio from the edge of the 6-yard box, who was able to drop to his right and catch it.
And he's put a couple of lovely corners in, Marcos Alonso, from the right hand side, in swinging corners, and as it comes out to Jorginho, he slices the ball, doesn't connect with it properly, and it ricochets off the back of Yeremy. Jorginho puts his arm up, claiming for a handball, clearly wasn't. It's been a good competitive game this second half though, hasn't it? It's been end to end.
I think the whole thing's been entertaining in all honesty. 2 more changes for Villarreal. That is their number 4 and 5. Their 4th and 5th changes. Looks like Alberto Moreno is leaving the field. Doing well, hasn't he, in the midfield position?
He has. It suits him because defensively he switches off at times. It was something I was criticised for his time at Liverpool, but he's played well today. He's helped out his left back when needed to. He's pressed well and got forward. He'll be pleased with his night's work.
So Manu Molanes comes on for him. He was on loan at Almeria last season, and Daniel Raba, the number 17, is coming on to replace Boulaye Dia, who was making his competitive debut after his summer arrival. The Senegal international did really well in the setting up of the goal, and I think has shown promise for Villarreal.
Oh, he's a handful, certainly is. He'll be a good addition to their team because he's a good foil for Gerard Moreno up top.
So Danny Raba comes on to replace him. So that is all 10 substitutions. Don't worry though, if you're getting substitution withdrawal symptoms, if this goes to extra time, there can be more substitutions then as well, as you're probably used to by now. We're into the last 5 minutes. 1-1 Chelsea and Villarreal. Chelsea, I'm sure Patrick Vieira, watching, the new Crystal Palace manager, will be absolutely delighted if this goes to extra time, although quite a number of the players have just been reintegrated, and of course, if things go to plan and the confirmation comes, which could happen tonight, who knows, tomorrow Romelu Lukaku will be a Chelsea player again. So you'll have plenty to think about Patrick Vieira before Crystal Palace.
We certainly will. And he's trying to piece together a young squad. They'll be nervous going into the season. Really interesting season for Crystal Palace this year, but tough opening game.
Yeah, very much so for Crystal Palace. You'll hear that 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, the commentary and all of the action with Ian Dennis and Matthew Upson this weekend. Ball down the right hand side, Chalobah with the cross, Villarreal block it, and it's worked and deflected out of play for a throw-in for Chelsea near the corner flag. We'll go to Nottingham Forest again in a moment, but Chelsea with Mount now back to Christensen square to Rudiger. Chelsea supporters, you can hear them all the way from Belfast in good voice. Kovacic goes back to the halfway lines, and Chelsea with Jorginho, chance for Pulisic inside the area, but the offside flag is up. Seemed inevitable it would come. I think 2 Chelsea players were in offside position when it was played through by Jorginho.
Yeah, you always think that the flag's going to go up and you expect it to, but then there's always that element of doubt. They play on for so long, but Asenio wasn't to know. Smart save to his right hand side.
People might be interested, Stephen, you probably know this, but in the Premier League this season the instruction to the assistants is to be a little cuter with the delaying of the offside flag, so perhaps it won't be quite as frustrating this season. At least that's the intention.
I hope so. I think it takes away the danger for the players. There was actually an incident in the Olympic final the other day, where the assistant referee held his flag. It was almost a collision with the striker and the goalkeeper, and that's what we're trying to eradicate with this new ruling.
We're in the 89th minute, or they are in the 89th minute in Belfast. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1. Extra time on the way, as Mount will do well to keep this in. He can't keep it in, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Villarreal. So penalty shootout continuing between Burton Albion and Oxford United, but Blackpool, Northampton, QPR and Nottingham Forest all through to the second round draw on the day that Lionel Messi was confirmed as a Paris Saint-Germain player. We've got a special edition of the 5 Live Football Daily podcast for you on that, and you can download that from BBC Sounds. Football Daily will be back as well all the way through the course of the season. Villarreal coming forward, centre field, will work the cross. It bounces away from Danny Rabba, who then is able to carry it on. Alonso comes across, he's caught him. It's a free kick to Villarreal, almost into added time. Free kick is taken quickly to Yeremy. Yeremy looks for support behind him. It is there from Mario Gaspar, and then back to the halfway line again to Raúl Albiol. All of the substitutions, but no thought of changing the 35-year-old Raúl Albiol. Mario Gaspar now down the right, pulls it back across the box, but Chalobah comes across and is able to clear it away. We can hear the indication, in fact we can see it now. 4 minutes of added time at the end of this UEFA Super Cup match. Here's Foyt, centre field, uses Mario Gaspar. He's got support behind. Here's the ball into the Chelsea penalty area. Azpilicueta stretches and heads it away at the back post. Comes down for Moy Gomez on the left hand side for Villarreal. Infield, it's allowed to run across his body by Manu Molanes. Molanes again, Jack Grealish style. It's catching on, Stephen. Socks only 3/4 of the way up his calves. Molanes, the 22-year-old midfielder, plays it across at pace. That's controlled by Rabba. Ball slipped through. Gerard Moreno was twisting but couldn't get there. Comes out again to Rabba. Rabba to the right hand side. Yeremy now up against Alonso. This is good Villarreal pressure from Unai Emery's team. Then added time at the end of this match. Villarreal played in. It's too close to the goalkeeper by Molanes, and Mendy was able to come and make a comfortable catch.
Yeah, wasted opportunity there. Just be patient with the ball, because Chelsea were struggling. They look leggy at the moment, Chelsea, which is quite surprising. You'd think they'd be ready for the first game of the season, but they're just feeling the pace of the game a little bit more than Villarreal.
And the last team through tonight to the second round of the Carabao Cup are Oxford United. They've won the penalty shootout 4-2 at Burton Albion, so Oxford United are into the second round draw. 1-1 in the Super Cup. Chelsea coming forward in added time. Alonso does well. Now inside the box with Pulisic. Pulisic running across from left to right, shooting. He's hit his own man. Alonso inside the box, who was in an offside position in any case, and Villarreal with the free kick. Promising by Pulisic, but couldn't find the finish.
Yeah, he just ran it down a blind alley. He tried to cut inside on his right foot, and not one but two or three or four Villarreal players just followed him, kept on pushing him out onto the right hand side, and then strikes the ball against his own man. Nowhere to go. Pulisic.
They don't have to defend well. They're a well drilled team. That's what you expect from Unai Emery, who had his time at Paris Saint-Germain, just like Thomas Tuchel. They must be both looking and thinking, I wouldn't have minded Messi when I was there as the coach. But Unai Emery, who is I think certainly with that win in the Europa League last season, if he needed to restore his reputation, which I'm not sure he necessarily did, he certainly is doing that with Villarreal. And even though last season they finished behind Sevilla and Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, amongst others, in the league, Chelsea beat all of those teams in the Champions League last season on the way to the final. But they're being held by Unai Emery's Villarreal as he and his club look to win this trophy for the very first time. Here's Kovacic. It's been quiet in the second half. Kovacic. Then to Rudiger. We're in the final minute of added time. Oh, lovely takedown by Alonso, who shoots into the side netting from the angle. Had a defender with him. Excellent control though on the top of his knee, but shot wide.
Yeah, it was the first opportunity that Alonso's been able to actually get in behind. Fender just switches off, and then lovely control, but strikes the ball into the side net, and always difficult from the angle that he was at.
And I think that was the final whistle we heard in the background there. Yes, it is. It's going to be extra time in Belfast tonight. They've waited a long time for this great occasion to host a match like the UEFA Super Cup, and now they've got half an hour of extra time to enjoy as well at Windsor Park. 1-1 after Ziyech gave Chelsea the lead in the first half, but Villarreal, the better team in the second, Stephen Warnock and Gerard Moreno equalising.
Yeah, really good performance from Villarreal in the second half. Changed the tactics slightly, it worked in the favour. I have to say, the changes that Chelsea made, they haven't worked. The players have been not really got into the game, they've been poor, but we expect a big improvement in extra time from Chelsea. I'm sure Thomas Tuchel, who's walking around with the team now, in giving them instructions of what's expected to go and win this game.
So it'll be at least another half hour before we know which way the UEFA Super Cup is going, because 1-1 at the end of the regulation 19 minutes in Belfast. Thanks, Emma. And Unai Emery started extra time by making his sixth substitution, and or is that his fifth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is his sixth, and it was Issa Mandi, his recent signing, the Algerian international. Villarreal crossing from the left-hand side with Stupinian, but it was caught by goalkeeper Mendy, too close to the Chelsea goalkeeper. So Issa Mandi has come on as and it's Yeremy who has gone off. So whether there's a problem there with Yeremy, which I think you could easily speculate there was, when Mandy has taken over on the right-hand side of defence, and Gaspar, I think, might be playing as right wing back now. But see if you can work that one out for us, Stephen Warnock with us, Premier League player, Champions League player, watching 1-1 in extra time between Chelsea and Villarreal. Villarreal having a go from the halfway line
Yeah, it was on as well. It was an opportunity because Mendy was well out of his goal, probably 5-10 yards outside of his penalty box, and his player lost the ball. And it was, I think it was Moreno who picked his head up and decided that he'd have a look at it.
Yep, they hit it well wide. So Chelsea, who still have one change up their sleeves, Thomas Tuchel can make. And so extra time, usual 30 minutes of extra time, and then possibly penalties to decide the Super Cup. As I say, the last two occasions that Chelsea have lost in the Super Cup match, they have been on penalties. Azpilicueta on the right hand side, Mason Mount then knocks it back to Chalobah. If you've not been listening, Chelsea much the better team in the first half. Ziyech scored the opening goal, set up by Havertz, but then had to go off injured shortly after that. Ziyech, what looked like a shoulder injury. He's been sitting there, we've seen shots of him with a sling. But Villarreal, the better team in the second half, and Gerard Moreno equalising. Chelsea coming forward though, as they play from right to left, as the pictures show us. The cross comes off the defender, Estupiñán, and it's behind for a corner to Chelsea, their first of this extra time period. Alonso caused one or two problems with his delivery from corners late in the 90 minutes. Across he goes there, and here is the delivery from Alonso. It's a high one this time. Havertz is after it. Raúl Albiol underneath it for Villarreal to head it away. Jorginho, blonde haired now, nods it back into the full-back position. Estupiñán is hoping it's going to roll. In fact, he turns and he plays it off the shins of Havertz and out of play for a throw-in to Villarreal.
A lot of tired bodies out on the pitch now, tired minds as well. Often in games when it's in this position, it's a mistake or a lack of concentration that leads to a goal. I'm sure that will be something that both managers will be getting on board in the team talk at full time.
Well, out of play again for a throw-in to Villarreal. Lots of animation from Unai Emery, as we were familiar.
He must be roasting, John. He's non-stop. He's got a cardigan on, a suit on. The players are dripping in sweat. It must be really warm.
Yeah, it's the usual drill, isn't it? It's just the change of the crests, the club crest instead of the Arsenal gun. Here is Azpilicueta down the right, gives it to Pulisic. Pulisic crosses, but it comes off the defender and loops onto the roof of the net. So it is a corner. It was won actually by Mason Mount. Corner to Chelsea from the right-hand side. So another opportunity for Alonso to deliver. First half of extra time. Floodlights brightly on at the excellent, newly revamped Windsor Park. Alonso with the corner, which is too close to the goalkeeper this time. Asenio just didn't have the whip on it that he had at the end of the first half, and that was a comfortable take for Asenio. Long downfield from him. It's allowed to bounce by Kovacic. Rabah was putting pressure on Kovacic, but the Croat was able to find Chalobah. Villarreal with it again in the central third. Villarreal, they won't worry at all, will they, Stephen, about the possibility of it going to a penalty shootout after that? Those extraordinary penalties that they scored in Gdansk against Manchester United, one after the other, flashing past De Gea.
I think they'd have probably took that before the game. When you think of the difference in qualities of squads, I think they'd have said, yeah, absolutely, we'll take that before the game, no problem.
There's the Algerian Mendy, who is another player with some strapping on his right hand in his case. Then Pau Torres to the left hand side, and Villarreal.
I wonder how he feels, John. Pau Torres.
Oh.
Straight back from Tokyo.
Does he know where he is? Foyt, to Molanes, and then Mario Gaspar back to Molanes. Sliding challenge comes in on him. Mario Gaspar though, Jorginho comes across and forces the Villarreal club captain to play it back to Foyt, who is now, he has been playing in the warm-up matches, some of the friendlies for Villarreal. Foyt in a holding midfield role. They have been in England actually, as you might know, over the course of the last couple of weeks. They lost to Leicester City and then played Leeds in York at the weekend at the New York Stadium behind closed doors. Villarreal with it on the left hand side. They've not won any of their pre-season friendlies, Villarreal, but they might win the Super Cup. 1-1 currently. Pau Torres, low and forward. It's flicked on by Gerard Moreno for Estupiñán down the left. Ball spinning at his feet. Back to the Villarreal goal scorer, Gerard Moreno. Now Estupiñán with a cross from the left, but that again is too close to the Chelsea goalkeeper, Mendy, who was able to stretch high and catch it. 1-1.
He's asking the defender to close that cross down. He doesn't want the cross to come into the box. It was Estupiñán on the left-hand side, just trying to bend it round the side, round the back of the defence of Chelsea and make it difficult. Just a little bit too much height on it. I'm not quite seeing that quality in the final third as the bodies start to tire.
Chelsea continue to bring the ball out from the back and then hit a long pass for the run of Pulisic, but goalkeeper Esenio is out very quickly to the edge of the penalty area, so it remains 1-1. Chelsea have, Thomas Tuchel, understandably, like most of the top coaches actually who had players involved in the international tournaments, have had to chop and change and pick all sorts of teams for their pre-season friendly matches. But they're coming back now with the Premier League about to begin in a couple of days' time. This latest Villarreal attack breaks down. Jorginho plays it up to Pulisic, who's tripped, and that's a free kick to the European champions just inside their own half. Indeed, some of the players who Chelsea have used during the course of this pre-season are, it's like a blast from the past. Players like Baba Rahman has been involved, and Danny Drinkwater started against Bournemouth. Zappacosta's been involved. Kennedy even appeared. Quite a number of players that, if you're not a Chelsea fan, you might be thinking, are they still at the club?
It's incredible, isn't it?
It is.
The loan system that Chelsea have in place.
And many of them and others might well be moving off on loan again this season. Ruben Loftus-Cheek actually is among the substitutes tonight, having been at Fulham last season. He'll be hoping there's still a chance in the future for him with Chelsea, who come forward with Azpilicueta. It's chipped forward towards Mount, who clips it across. Havertz takes it down, but it bounced away, and then the chance as it comes in from the right-hand side from Pulisic. But he was stretching for it, and he rather snatched at the shot and pulled it across the face of goal and wide of the far post.
Yeah, he has his head in his hands. It's a lovely move down the right-hand side. Little dink over the top from Azpilicueta into the run of Mason Mount, and then he picks out Kai Havertz, and I'm thinking, hit it first time. It's come at a lovely height and angle for you. He just tries to take the touch and then gets his shot. It hits the defender and then ricochets into the path of Pulisic. He can't sort his feet out and just pushes it past the left-hand post. Really a clear opportunity for Pulisic. He was running at 100 miles an hour as it came to him.
Just all happened too quickly, didn't it? And he snatched at the shot, and it went wide, and he ended up in the back of the Villarreal net, not the ball. Kovacic again, low ball through the middle. There's some space here for Pulisic. 30 yards out now, the American. But in comes the challenge. Couldn't play the pass to Azpilicueta, who's arriving on the right-hand side. Too slow, Stephen, you're saying? Yeah,
far too slow. The ball was onto Azpilicueta. There was also another ball onto Mason Mount earlier. Too many touches, and good challenge from Juan Foyt. I think he's been really good when he's gone into centre midfield. Very aggressive in the tackle, breaking the play up.
Yep. Former Tottenham man against Chelsea, Juan Foyt, the Argentine. Chelsea winning the ball back, Pulisic, and then plays it to Azpilicueta. They claim he was offside, and the Russian assistant on the far side agrees. In front of where all of the Villarreal fans are, then around about 1,000 or so. Many of them come on charter flights to Belfast, and I'm sure they've been looked after and been given some great hospitality there. As I said earlier, I know that some of them have at the Crusaders club, Crusaders FC, where they were being served up Guinness and stew. And in Northern Ireland,
are you jealous, John?
Well, yes, I am. That's the least you'd expect. As Villarreal with Esenio, the goalkeeper, right down the middle, but Christensen comes and takes that down. Chalobah on the far side turns, plays it back into the penalty area, slips over as he does so. But Chelsea still with it. Blue shirts, blue shorts, the yellow trim on the Chelsea kit down the sides this season. Traditional white socks though. And here is the blonde-haired Jorginho to the halfway line. Jorginho then picks out Kovacic out towards the left-hand side. Kovacic then to his right to Mount, and Mount now to Azpilicueta on the right-hand side. Azpilicueta. Mount continues the run. Good run as well. Cross comes over. Alonso takes it down inside the box, but it bounces away from him. And Villarreal, they must have had 8 players, Villarreal, back inside their own penalty area. Not enough space. Comes through to Alonso again, turns it forward. Azpilicueta takes a tumble, but the ball had gone. And the referee, the shaven-headed Russian referee Karasev, is having nothing of that. Azpilicueta saying he had his shirt pulled. VAR might have a look at it, but I would be surprised.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised as well. Looked very dramatic from Azpilicueta as the ball came into him. I'm just seeing the incident again on our TV screens. It would have been offside from Alonso anyway, possibly, and then Azpilicueta, he's looking for contact. Yeah. There's nothing really in that. A little bit of an arm on the shoulder, but needs to be more than that for me.
Yes, Azpilicueta threw himself to the ground quite theatrically, actually, the Chelsea captain. And just for a split second, Estupiñán had his hands on the upper body of Azpilicueta, but certainly not enough to warrant that reaction. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1. First half of extra time has got less than 2 minutes to play. Mendy underarms it out to Rudiger. Now Chalobah to Azpilicueta again. Right wing back Azpilicueta, as we know, can play as the right-sided central defender. Mount playing a little deeper now that Thomas Tuchel has made his changes this evening. Then back to Rudiger. Play switches to the left-hand side for Chelsea. Kovacic then to Jorginho. Back to Christensen, and the tall Dane gives it to the still relatively young England under-21 international Trevor Chalobah, as he was. Jorginho swings the ball into the area looking for the run through the middle from Havertz. Maybe just a little bit too much on that, and the goalkeeper was able to get there ahead of the German international. Villarreal hit it long downfield, but that will just give possession back to Chelsea, who have had more of the ball in the first period of extra time. Yeah,
they've completely dominated the first period. They've been aggressive in the way that they've tried to get a goal in extra time. Villarreal, though, so well organised, so well drilled in the positions and understanding what's expected. I just wonder whether in the second half of extra time they might just revert to what they did in the second half of the game and just push players forward a little bit higher and take a risk.
Could be tricky opponents, couldn't they, in the Champions League this season? Unai Emery and Villarreal. Mount gives the ball back to the right-hand side, and then Azpilicueta. Pulisic again on the right-hand side. Azpilicueta works it back to Jorginho, then Kovacic. Challenge comes in from Molanas. Chalobah. Mount tried to give it back to him. It's ever so difficult, though, for Chelsea to try and find a way through against this Villarreal team. And then the ball is played forward, but foul by Dani Rabah on Rudiger, and it's a free kick to Chelsea. And that is it for the first period of extra time. So 15 minutes more, and then it would be penalties to see who takes the Super Cup, either back to London or back to southeastern Spain. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1 at half-time, Emma. Thank you, Emma. Here come Chelsea. Ball hooked across the box by Azpilicueta, but it's headed away and is turned out of play for a throw-in. So this is the second period of extra time in the UEFA Super Cup match under the lights at Windsor Park. It's Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1, and we could have penalties to follow. So Chelsea with Mount trying to do something about this, prevent penalties against Villarreal, who are such penalty experts against Manchester United, remember. Azpilicueta crossing from the right-hand side, but comfortably caught by Asenio. Still one change that can be made by Villarreal. In fact, no, Villarreal have made all 6 of theirs now, but Chelsea still have one more change that they could make. So Tammy Abraham is there on the substitutes bench. Don talked at half-time about that match in Istanbul where Chelsea lost to Liverpool. It was Tammy Abraham who missed the crucial penalty. As the ball is brought forward, but the assistant is flagging on the far side. Villarreal with Mario Gaspar. I think the assistant is suggesting that Molanas handballed it as he was stumbling forward. The ball's out of play and it's given Chelsea's way, so it's come to nothing. But one more change Chelsea can make, Stephen.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I just wonder whether the Tammy Abraham situation is he's just travelling as part of the squad.
Here's Pulisic playing it through. Chance now for Mount. With the effort, the goalkeeper Asenio, it was underneath his feet a little for Mason Mount there, but he managed to dig out the shot, and Asenio, diving to his left, was able to push it over the angle of post and bar.
Yeah, it's Pau Torres, who just can't quite sort his feet out, and then it ricochets into the path of Mason Mount, and he drills it high into the goalkeeper's right, and he puts out a big strong hand to push it round the post. Important save.
Yeah, good save again by Asenio. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1. Alonso takes it towards the back post, a flick by Rudiger, cleared away at the back post, comes out for Mount with a shot that is also blocked by Mandy inside the penalty area, and Villarreal are able to clear away towards the halfway line. Important save from Asenio. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1. Chalobah receives it from Jorginho. Now here is the tall Alonso. He's still on the right hand side. Havertz, Mount works it under pressure, back to Alonso, still on the right flank, thought about delivering it into the box, instead gives it back to Chalobah. Now here's Azpilicueta. Alonso's made his way into the middle, into the penalty area. Chalobah and Azpilicueta exchange passes, then Mount goes down rather softly on the edge of the box. I'm not sure there was enough in that to merit the free kick, and the Russian referee Karasev agrees and says no free kick. That draw, by the way, for the second round of the Carabao Cup, we will give you more details, but you can find it on the football pages of the BBC Sport website in full. It is being made, possibly has now been made. Chalobah shoved over, free kick to Chelsea in their own right back position, and if this goes to penalties, we might be a little late handing over to it is Johnny Ianson actually who's sitting in for Colin Murray this evening from 10:30 if this goes to penalties. So 1-1 Chelsea up towards Mount, 10 yards inside his own half. Mount now to Azpilicueta again. Villarreal drop back into position. It's definitely had the feel, hasn't it, of a pre-season type performance from Chelsea, with all of the changes in personnel and the players who've had to be rested. Mario Gaspar plays the ball out of play for a throw to Villarreal in their own right back area. Yeah, not up to speed yet.
No, not really, but I just don't think he's had an option, John.
No, he hasn't.
He's got to protect his players. He's got to make sure that they're drip fed in, back in, and not overloaded, but also he has one eye on the Premier League, and he's got to make sure that they start the Premier League season well.
Yeah, Timo Werner was protected this evening, lost Ziyech to injury. Kante as well was substituted. Chelsea coming forward, Jorginho in the centre circle, not suggesting there was any problem with Kante. Here is Mount, and Kovacic in comes Foyt with a challenge that bounces out of play for a throw-in on the far side to Chelsea.
Might be being a little bit harsh, John, but I don't know if he was protecting Timo Werner. He might have to come off anyway. He was really poor.
Yeah,
just looks so low on confidence again.
He does. It is a fact. 12 goals last season, joint top scorer, but certainly Chelsea will have been expecting, hoping for more. Got that second round draw for you, the north section of it. If we have a little stoppage in play, I'll try and run you through it. But Chelsea with the ball on the right hand side, Azpilicueta. Then back it comes to Chalobah again. Less than 10 minutes of extra time to go. Mount through the middle to Havertz. Now Kovacic gets involved. Alonso left side of the area. Alonso back to Kovacic, whose shot was blocked by Molanes, who was able to quickly close it down. Chelsea start again. They're parked inside Villarreal territory. They've had much more of the ball in extra time. Pulisic had that chance in the first period. Mason Mount with the chance in the second, but Villarreal holding out 1-1, just like it was in the Europa League final in Gdansk against Manchester United. Rudiger. Then Kovacic overhits the pass and it's through to goalkeeper Asenio. The draw for the second round of the Carabao Cup: Oldham against Accrington, Newcastle United against Burnley, Wigan versus Bolton, and Huddersfield versus Everton. More to come. Chelsea with the ball in their own, in the Villarreal left-back area. Pulisic then gets away from Foyt, plays it square to Kovacic, now again to Alonso on the left. Alonso up against Mario Gaspar, he's on his right foot, and Alonso rather wildly with his right foot sends that wide and away and beyond and behind for a goal kick. The other ties: Sheffield United against Derby County, Stoke City against Doncaster Rovers, Shrewsbury Town against Rochdale, Nottingham Forest against Wolves, Morecambe against Preston, Blackpool against Sunderland, Leeds United against Crewe, and Barrow against Aston Villa. Those are the draws in the northern section. Villarreal supporters, that's who you can hear in great voice. It's maybe all that Guinness and stew, Stephen.
No, they should be supporting the team. They know that they're needed at this moment in time. It's been a really good performance from Villarreal, and just trying to help their team get over the line and get them to penalties, because it now looks like Villarreal are the team that are really tired.
Yep, it does. Chelsea come again, playing from left to right. That's towards the end where many of the Chelsea supporters are. We can see their flags. Chelsea with Azpilicueta. Chalobah gets involved, and then the ball is cleared away by Pau Torres. By the way, Pau Torres, Euros, Olympics, Super Cup, the last 8 knockout matches he's been involved in have gone to extra time. So as well as all of the commitments and matches and competitions, he's had extra time after extra time. And Chelsea now with Azpilicueta playing it in left-footed from the right, but that bounces all the way through to goalkeeper Asenio. That's that final ball. So more ties, these from the south section of the Carabao Cup, second round. Brentford against Forest Green, Millwall against Cambridge United, West Brom against Arsenal, Norwich City against Bournemouth. Chelsea flick it forward through Havertz, but it's cleared away by Villarreal into the centre circle. Cardiff City against Brighton, and Birmingham City against Fulham. Chelsea with Mount up towards Pulisic. He was caught late there, Mount. It's a free kick to the right of the centre circle. Villarreal protest, but the ball had gone. Here's a free kick. Mount is down on his back, just being helped up by a teammate. I think he's okay. More of those ties to come, but Chelsea take this free kick short. Jorginho, got 5 minutes to go, less than 5 minutes before penalties. Here's Rudiger. Takes a little moment to get the ball under control on the far side, and then the ball is played back towards Christensen on the halfway line. Still 1-1. Chalobah again. Chalobah will carry the ball forward. Azpilicueta now to Pulisic. Pulisic works it through. The ball runs via a deflection to Mount, crosses it, comes off a defender, loops forward. Alonso's after it. The ball is pushed behind, and it is offside that is given, and it's a free kick to Villarreal. And the rest of those ties for the second round of the Carabao Cup, you'll hear commentary and coverage on 5 Live. Gillingham against Cheltenham, QPR against Oxford United, Swansea City against Plymouth, Stevenage against Wickham, Newport County against Southampton, Northampton against Wimbledon, and Watford against Crystal Palace. So now we're set for the final minutes of extra time in the Super Cup, with Chelsea doing so much but not enough. Stephen Warnock.
No, well, I mean, we spoke about him before the game, and the potential signing of Lukaku. He is exactly the type of player they need. Every time that Chelsea look up in a wide area, there's no one in the box. Everyone's coming to show for the ball. Then when they do play it into the middle to push it into a striker, it's laid off 1 touch, 2 touch. Whereas Lukaku will hold the ball, he'll draw players in, he'll allow runners off him, but he also has that strength and ability just to shift from side to side and get his shots away. So he'll make a big difference to this Chelsea team.
Now this is interesting. The cameras in Belfast are focusing on Kepa, and we're not going to have a scenario. So say Chelsea have got one substitution left. It looks as though they might be going to bring on Kepa for the penalty shootout. Villarreal with a free kick though, and it's played in, and the header from Gerard Moreno is saved and pushed away by Edouard Mendy. The header from 13-14 yards out. Was it offside?
Yeah, clearly offside, John. He tried to go and then come back and get onside. He just went a little bit too early, but it was a good header, good save from Mendy.
So what about this then?
Interesting, the irony of it. Incredible. Wonder if Mendy refuses to go off. Well, you did it. Why can't I do it?
Yeah. The infamous incident in the Carabao Cup final involving Kepa when Maurizio Sarri very nearly walked out of Wembley.
He's only recently just spoke about it, hasn't he, as well?
Oh, ball is won back by Azpilicueta, but it bounces away from him on the edge of the Villarreal box and through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he did an interview not so long ago talking about that incident and said he didn't want to be disrespectful towards the manager, but he thought that the manager actually thought he was injured and he signalled that he wasn't.
Here's Pulisic now through the middle, late in extra time. Oh, he's just shrugged off the ball, fouled. It's a yellow card for that challenge, which has resulted in a Chelsea free kick. It was Rabah, the number 17, who leaned into Pulisic, who was looking dangerous there with a direct run, just clipped his right ankle, but a free kick between the centre circle and the goal, and Kepa is coming on now with 90 seconds of the extra time to go. Edouard Mendy, whether this is something that was pre-arranged, certainly Edouard Mendy doesn't show any signs of an unwillingness to come off, and you have to suspect that this is something that was arranged and communicated by Thomas Tuchel beforehand.
Yeah, it was really well received by by Mendy. He was quite happy, Edouard Mendy, to come off. He give Arrizabalaga a real big sort of fist bump, as if to say, go and do the job.
Yeah, an interesting twist towards the end of this Super Cup match, but a free kick for Chelsea. They might win it without penalties yet. Played in by Mount. Alonso with a header across the box. It bounces out and should be cleared away by Rabah. A nice change of feet by him as well, Rabah, to then play it forward, but the covering challenge, a sliding challenge by Kovacic. Kovacic gets onto his feet, gives it to Azpilicueta. Now it comes back towards Jorginho, and we are now in the 120th minute, the final minute of extra time. I'm not sure there'll be any time added on, so this could be the last attack, the last chance for Chelsea to win it without resorting to penalties. Cross from Azpilicueta, it's a deep one, but Pulisic with the challenge. It was a foul challenge as well. He bundled himself into Mendy, and the ball bounces behind for a free kick. We are into added time. 7 or 8 seconds. Yes, 1 minute of time has been indicated. So it looks as though Kepa will face penalties. The Spanish goalkeeper, left out of Luis Enrique's squad for the Euros. He's had a whole summer to think about it, and now it looks as though he's going to have a penalty shootout to try and win the trophy for Chelsea and for Thomas Tuchel. Ball is out of play for a throw. 20 seconds to go. They're counting down in the stands. Villarreal, who won that marathon penalty shootout at the end of last season against Manchester United, when they scored all of their penalties. Azpilicueta takes this throw. The final seconds. Challenge comes in on Havertz. It's out for a throw, and referee Karasev says that is it. Both teams had chances to win it. Chelsea were 1-0 up at half-time. Villarreal equalised in the second half. Ziyech for Chelsea, Gerard Moreno for Villarreal. But it's ended as a draw, 1-1 after extra time. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, I think it's probably the right result. I don't think any team really looked like they were going to win the game in extra time. Pressure from Chelsea, but without really creating too many clear-cut chances. And now it's down to the two keepers. What can they do? What heroics can they produce? And then it's about being calm and composed when you're stepping up to take your penalty and picking your spot and not changing your mind.
So for the third consecutive time when they've been involved in the Super Cup match, Chelsea are taken to penalties, 1-1 after extra time. Emma? Yes, they are. We are seeing the scene that we saw so often during the latter stages of the Euros, and I'm not sure that Raul Albiol is going to pick up Azpilicueta, a little bit like Giorgio Chiellini, but the toss has taken place. It looks as though, did Chelsea win the initial toss?
No, Albiol won it, and he chose to have the penalties taken at the end where the Villarreal fans are.
So this now tosses to decide. Chelsea have won that, and it looks as though, it's Chelsea were going to go first. I heard the referee say second and point towards Albiol, so Chelsea are going to go first. So, right, here we are. Thomas Tuchel, as well as being very decisive in bringing on Kepa Arrizabalaga for the penalty shootout, was also, we saw, didn't we, the pictures of the Chelsea huddle. He seemed very definite about the order that he wanted the penalties to be taken in. He had his piece of paper and made it very clear. And who's coming up first for Chelsea? Is that Kai Havertz, who is being handed the ball? Yes, it is. It is Havertz who is walking forward, so Chelsea will take the penalties first. So this is to decide the 2021 UEFA Super Cup match, which is being played in Belfast in front of what's been a lively crowd, only 13,000 or so. The referee, Sergei Karasev, is now speaking with both of the goalkeepers, Sergio Asenjo of Villarreal and Kepa Arrizabalaga of Chelsea, a late substitute. So the usual rules and regulations about what to do, what not to do, not to leave your line, etc, etc. But Kai Havertz steps up first. So the man given the responsibility is the young German who scored the winning goal in Porto in the Champions League final itself back in May. And Asenjo, remember it was Rulli who was the goalkeeper in the Europa League penalty shootout, but Asenjo for Villarreal in this one. Chelsea with the first penalty. Havertz, it's saved by Asenjo, diving to his left, and Asenjo gives Villarreal the edge right from the start of this shootout.
Well, a disastrous start from Chelsea and Kai Havertz. It's a lazy penalty. He almost jumps in towards the ball. It's a lovely height for Asenjo. It's not an outstanding save. It's just a really easy push to the left-hand side, and the worst possible start for Chelsea.
Yes, it is. His teammates go to him, but it is Gerard Moreno, the man who scored in both the Europa League final and indeed this match to make it 1-1. The goal that effectively took it to penalties. Gerard Moreno, top scorer last season, Spanish international, the number 7 for Villarreal, on his left foot, hits the post, but it ends up in the back of the net. And he punches the air, raises a fist towards the Villarreal fans. Kepa went the wrong way, and it hit the post and went in.
Yeah, he celebrated. He just waited for it to hit the post, and then he thought, is it coming back towards me, or is it going to hit the back of the net? Fortunately for Moreno, it crashes into the back of the net.
So Villarreal, who scored all of their penalties against Manchester United, have got 1 out of 1 in this shootout, lead Chelsea 1-0. Azpilicueta will take the second penalty for Chelsea. Right-footed, that's a very good penalty. Asenjo went the right way, but it was so well struck by Azpilicueta, it found the net, and it is 1-1 in the shootout.
Yeah, didn't take his eyes off the ball, didn't look at the goalkeeper once, just knew exactly where he wanted to put it, opened up his right foot and pushed it in right into the side net, and the perfect penalty from Azpilicueta.
So 1-1. Chelsea have had one saved, scored one, and the next penalty for Villarreal is to be taken by Mandi, the defender, the Algerian international, the substitute. Right-footed, short run up, and Kepa saves it, diving to his right. Good height for him, went the right way, saved it, and Villarreal finally have missed a penalty in a shootout in 2021.
Yeah, well, the run-up's poor. It's so short. It's 2 steps and then it's a strike into the bottom corner. Great save from Kepa. Huge save to his right-hand side. He gets his team back into the game.
Oh, Mandy. Chelsea 1, Villarreal 1 in the shootout. So Chelsea's next penalty. Is that Marcos Alonso? Yes, it is. Who's leaning over, and as he stands up, we see that long brown hair of his. He looks intently at the ball. He comes up. Oh, he slips, but he scores. Goalkeeper went the wrong way, but it's in the back of the net. And Chelsea now lead the shootout by 2-1.
Yeah, good penalty from Alonso. Just comes round the ball. He's fortunate that it doesn't ricochet off his other foot as he slips, much to his delight as well.
So it is 2-1 to Chelsea. And the third penalty for Villarreal is going to be taken by another one of these substitutes, the Ecuadorian international, Estupiñán. So Estupiñán is just stepping away to his right, so left-footed penalty, and he comes up very slowly and very coolly, sends Kepa the wrong way and scores to make it 2-2 in the shootout. And Kepa has been booked. Producer Gary Flintoff has spotted, so a booking for Kepa. Whether that was gamesmanship or not, I don't know.
A lovely penalty from Estupiñán. Eyes firmly on the goalkeeper, doesn't look at the ball once and just sits Kepa down. Calm penalty.
Mason Mount next, who was substituted, not able to take a penalty in the Euro 2020 final for England, but does here for Chelsea and scores. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and that is 3-2 to Chelsea in the shootout.
It's a lovely penalty because his body language tells you that he wants to reverse the ball, and the goalkeeper goes for that, and then he just pushes it into the other side, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Lovely penalty from Mason Mount.
BBC Radio 5 Live, penalty shootout to decide the UEFA Super Cup. So Johnny Jansen will be on the way once we round things up after we know who has won it in Belfast. The next penalty is to be taken by another one of the substitutes. It's Moi Gomez, the number 23. The ball, referee says, needs to be just placed again, so he was ready to go, Moi Gomez, but has to start again and just adjust the positioning of the ball on the spot. Back he comes from the edge of the area, right-footed. Kepa went the right way, but a good penalty from Moi Gomez. He scores. Goalkeeper went to his right, but the ball in the net, and it's 3-3.
No, it had to be a good penalty, and it had to be right in the bottom corner again, finding the side netting. It's a big penalty.
You're seeing a shot there of the Chelsea technical and performance director, Petr Cech, who knows a thing or two about saving penalties in big matches. Jorginho next. Jorginho, last penalty we saw him take was saved by Jordan Pickford. He went to Pickford's right, if you remember. Jorginho, will we see the jump from him? Here he comes, sets out to his left. There is the bounce, and he rolls it down the middle. Just waits for Asenio to go to his left, and then very coolly, and actually puts his finger to his lips as well, just to hush the crowd, the Villarreal supporters behind that goal. Jorginho scores. 4-3 Chelsea in the shootout.
Well, the confidence to be able to take that penalty again in the same manner as missing in the Euros final. Incredible confidence from Jorginho.
So it's sudden death now. If Villarreal do not score this, then Chelsea have won the cup, and it is Dani Rabah, another of the substitutes, the 25-year-old, who is preparing himself now. It's a left-footed penalty for Rabah, and he sends the goalkeeper Kepa the wrong way, and it's in the net, and it's 4-4, and we will go on with this penalty shootout.
I may be a little bit biased, John, but left-footed penalty into the far corner. Exquisite technique in the way that he strikes the ball. So calm in the way he stepped up to it.
So, Chelsea's 6th penalty will be taken by Pulisic. And he's already there, next to the spot. Christian Pulisic. 4-4 in the shootout. So we're into sudden death now. Pulisic takes a big, deep breath. Just shrugs his shoulders and then comes up and sends goalkeeper Asenio the wrong way. And it is 5-4 Chelsea. And a clenched fist from the American as he runs back towards the halfway line.
No, I like the confidence and not to be rushed. It was his penalty. He was always going to take his time over it, and he just waited for the whistle, composed himself, and then fired it into the far right hand corner.
Next for Villarreal, it is Foyt. It is the former Tottenham man who is going to take this penalty against Chelsea. If he misses, Chelsea are the winners. Kepa bounces on his line. Foyt sends Kepa the wrong way and scores for Villarreal. And it is 5-5.
Huge pressure on Foyt to find the back of the net, and he's so composed in the penalty. Sends Kepa comfortably the wrong way. A really good penalty. And a fist bump to his fans as well.
Remember, the Europa League penalty shootout finished 11-10 against Manchester United. So these things can go long when Villarreal are involved. Rudiger next. Antonio Rudiger for Chelsea. Scores! Asenio was somewhat wrong-footed by that. Barely moved actually from his central position. Dropped down onto one knee. And Rudiger pulled it to the right of the goalkeeper into the net. 6-5 Chelsea in the shootout.
It's just such a straight run up from Rudiger. No one could really understand where he was going. I was thinking, what's his technique here? Where's he looking at going? And Asenio didn't have any idea at all. As you say, John, just dropped to his knee and just pushed past him in the bottom corner.
Next it's Raúl Albiol, the man who started the final as the Villarreal captain, the experienced World Cup European Championship winner. Raúl Albiol, it's saved by Kepa, down to his right. It was a poorly struck penalty by Albiol, and Kepa, having gone to his right, has made the save, and Chelsea win the Super Cup in Belfast, and they can add it to the Champions League trophy that they won in Porto at the end of last season. A penalty shootout victory for Thomas Tuchel and his Chelsea team, and the man who was brought on as a substitute goalkeeper for the shootout makes the crucial save, and Chelsea win it 6-5.
Oh, what a lovely moment now we're seeing. Big save from Kepa, and then who's the first to go and greet him and congratulate him? It's Mendy. What's great to see, but what a big save and what a big call from Thomas Tuchel to make that change right at the end of extra time. 2 minutes to go, bringing on your substitute goalkeeper, and it's paid off for Chelsea.
The Champions League winners become the Super Cup winners, and Kepa is surrounded by his teammates. It's an interesting call. It will be fascinating to find out from Thomas Tuchel after the match what the reasons were, what the thinking was, why that was the plan to bring on Kepa, but it did the trick, Stephen Warnock.
That sure did. And lovely touch from Kepa. His players are trying to surround him to celebrate, but he's trying to go to the Villarreal players to go and shake their hands. He obviously knows a large bulk of their squad, but it's a big call from Thomas Tuchel to be able to do that, but it shows the faith that he has in Arrizabalaga, and big moment for him.
So there we are, another trophy for Chelsea, the second time they've won it, the UEFA Super Cup. So now they've won it twice, the Cup Winners' Cup twice, the Europa League twice, and the Champions League twice, and their name, Chelsea FC, is being engraved onto the UEFA Super Cup trophy inside Windsor Park in Belfast. Chelsea won, Villarreal won. It finished after extra time, and Chelsea won the shootout 6-5